100 calories.
Well, you
Where did
know
you get
what?
it?
When you think about it, when you
Comma. I'll remember that. Favorite son. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular commission meeting this Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Commissioner Marker.
Here.
Vice Mayor Long.
Here.
Commissioner Cassell.
Here.
Deputy Vice Mayor Burns. Here. Mayor Carney.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. If you could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God in the building.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Okay, agenda approval. Are there any additions, deletions, substitutions to the agenda? Seeing none, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. We have two presentations tonight. The first one is actually in the form of a resolution at the 2025 Gregory Banks 30 Years of Service. So who do we have to make, is it Anthea? You're going to be making the presentation? Yes? Sorry?
For you to read.
It's for me to read. Okay. Resolution number 200-25, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Delray Beach, Florida, recognizing and commending Gregory Banks for the 30 years of service to the City of Delray Beach. Whereas Gregory Banks began his career with the City of Delray Beach on September 5th, 1995, and on September 5th, 2025, reached a milestone in his career, having achieved 30 years of full-time service with the city. And whereas Greg was hired as a master electrician in the Environmental Services Department, was promoted in 2000 to electrical inspector in the Building Department, and promoted again to Inspector Grade 2 in 2028, where he currently serves with distinction. And whereas his extensive knowledge and experience make Greg a valuable team member in the Building Division of Development Services. He has numerous commendations in his file from contractors who have described his service to the public as prompt, fair, and accurate. And whereas Greg's reliability and calm demeanor in pressure situations make him an outstanding leader, he is always willing to help others and looks for new and better ways to assist them and his team. And whereas Greg has proven to be a valuable asset since being promoted to Inspector Grade 2, completing electrical inspections and plan reviews in a timely manner. He is a self-starter who maintains a high level of output, focused on providing outstanding customer service, and whereas he displays the highest levels of cooperation and professionalism and holds himself accountable for all his decisions, his courteous demeanor and good humor are appreciated by all who know Greg. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Commission for the City of Delray Beach, Florida as follows. That the City Commission of the City of Delray Beach hereby recognizes and commends Gregory Banks for 30 years of dedicated and faithful service. And two, that the City Commission hereby congratulates and expresses sincere thanks and appreciation to Gregory Banks for his many years of service and wishes him the best of health and happiness for his continued employment. May I have a motion to adopt this resolution? I need a
Motion to adopt the resolution.
All in favor? Aye. Congratulations. You're up. Congratulations, Mr. Banks.
All right, so I am Lachey King, Human Resources Employee Engagement Administrator, here to recognize Mr. Gregory Banks for 30 years of service. And here to speak on his behalf is his director, Miss Anthea Gianotis.
So this is a real treat to be able to recognize Greg for all of his years of service. He's actually served longer than some of the employees in our department have been alive. So I counted 4 that were not here in 1995. So Greg, I've known him for 8 years and I've been his director for 6. He has fostered excellent relationships with our customers and the contractors that he has to interact with on a daily basis. He is incredibly reliable and well respected. And he is, I think, the team, we were trying to decide what to say about Greg, and he's really part of the bedrock of the building division. We have never seen him lose his temper. And building permits and people pushing for COs, these things can have a lot of pressure. He maintains his professionalism. I'm the one who added the good humor because it is true. He is always a positive force in the department. He's never viewed our relationship with permit holders as us versus them. It's more about just making sure that the construction is safe for the residents and the businesses that are going to occupy them and helping people get to that place. For years, there was only one Greg. There is only one Greg. But for a long time, he was the only electrical plan reviewer and inspector. And he was what people don't understand about this position is you're getting called out at 10 o'clock from FP&L. You're the only one helping with electrical permits when there's a hurricane recovery and you're working crazy hours. You're getting called out in the middle of the night for other issues. And so he has been really an integral part of keeping the city running for 30 years. And so we're proud of him, and I'm just glad he's sticking around a little longer. What do I do with you? So this is your plaque, which is recognizing your 30 years of outstanding service.
Thank you.
And then you also get a copy of the resolution that the mayor just read.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody.
Very good.
You make it look good. Well done. It's always part of the fun part of the job when you get to recognize someone who's had such dedicated service to the city for so many years. Well done, Craig. 4B, this is the recognition of the Delray Beach Police Department for achieving third consecutive Excelsior recognition by the Commission for Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation and Accreditation Manager Jennifer Rivera for being instrumental in ensuring agency-wide accreditation compliance. Chief Hunter.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioner. I am proud to share that the Delray Beach Police Department has once again achieved reaccreditation through the Commission of Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation. And this year we are honored with our third consecutive Excelsior Award. The Excelsior program is a recognition of the highest and most prestigious achievement a law enforcement agency can earn in the state of Florida. It signifies not just compliance but sustained excellence, demonstrating that our department has met and exceeded hundreds of rigorous standards over accreditation cycles, which is 15 consecutive cycles, 5 years, 15 consecutive years. This award reflects our unwavering commitment to the standard of excellence we strive for every day and reinforces the foundation of our core values of PACE, which is professional, accountable, consistent, and engaged. These values guide our service to the community and define who we are as an organization. This incredible accomplishment would not be possible without the hard work and leadership of our accreditation manager, Jennifer Rivera. Jennifer's dedication, attention to detail, and tireless commitment to continuous improvement ensures that this department remains amongst the best within the state of Florida. Jennifer, thank you for an outstanding work that you've demonstrated throughout this time, for helping us to uphold the highest standards in professionalism and public service to the city of Delray Beach. And this is our award that we received. Come down? Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah. We can get one with the entire commission. Oh, we can come down here. We go right.
I asked for both. Congratulations, Jennifer. Really well done. And Chief, of course. All right. Comments and inquiry on agenda and non-agenda items from the public immediately following the presentations. But the first will be Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
City Manager comments.
Yes, sir. So my comments are formal this evening in that I did add to the agenda clarity regarding response time for both the Delray Beach Police Department and the Delray Beach Fire Rescue Department. And this is principally in response to some concerns and observations recently shared by residents of the community that were quite frankly less than favorable. The principal focus had to do with the Delray Beach Police Department. However, given the fact that the Police Department and the Fire Rescue Department work in tandem with one another with respect to public safety, I thought it would be a cogent opportunity to give leadership from both departments an opportunity to clarify the facts in that regard. Not only regarding the past year of outcomes and performance to this effect, but it does include a 3-year trend so that there's some descriptive analysis or linear analysis in terms of how effective we are in terms of public safety. So beginning with the Delray Beach Chief of Police, Daryl Hunter, to outline the trajectory in that regard, followed by Fire Rescue Chief Ronald Martin. Chief Hunter, if you would, please.
Public safety, when you say public safety. Because I haven't gotten that from you guys. The chief of police board is seeing that. So I
Please, wait, if you wish to make a comment, there's commissioner comments afterwards. Feel free to get up.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. What you see in front of you is the Delray Beach response times. The Delray Beach Police Department receives roughly 4,500 calls for service yearly. All police calls for service are routed through our dispatch center, who relay the information to our officers. All information as it relates to calls for service is electronic timestamped within our computer system so it can be tracked. Once our trained professional dispatchers receive the calls, they are triaged in the incidents where the classifications are priority 1, priority 2, and priority 3, and that's roughly 45,000 calls for service yearly that we receive. Priority 1 calls. Priority 1 calls are our emergency calls. Any threat to life or danger of serious physical injury or major property damage, any felony or violent misdemeanor where the suspect has remained at the scene or may be apprehended in the immediate area. Those are priority 1 calls. These calls are dispatched immediately to the officers without delay to the closest unit that is actually available. Example, robbery in progress or something of that nature. Our priority 2, urgent. Any incident currently in progress that does not represent a significant threat to life or property, these calls for service are dispatched as soon as the units are available. Example, audible alarm. Someone calls, there's an alarm going off, that's considered a priority 2 calls. Again, this is part of the triage process. Priority 3, delayed. Any incident request that is not in progress involving minor offenses or when the complainant has delayed the reporting for more than 1 hour. Any call that has been reported to be over 1 hour, chances and the propensity of whatever that incident is occurring at that time, that individual or whatever they've seen will not be there. So it's triaged in that process, and that's how we categorize them from priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. So if it's anything over 1 hour, that's how it's triaged in our dispatch center. These calls for service are dispatched to officers when they come available, and then we respond, such as found property or something of that nature where there's nobody in the vicinity and it's been a delay in time. One of the first things that happens when someone calls for service from the police department, one of the questions they ask, how long has it been? If somebody says immediately, it's an in progress call, it's happening, that's immediate, just like that. If it's something where it's over an hour, then it's triaged as a priority 3, which is delayed. Of course, we're actually handling other calls for service, so when an officer comes available, they'll be dispatched at that time. And our response times for the Delray Beach Police Department, starting with the priority 1 response calls, as you can see, 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Priority 2 calls, this is the entire city we're talking about now, is 6 minutes, 34 seconds. Priority 3 response times, 9 minutes, 45 seconds. Again, we talk about 1 being emergency, 2 being urgent, 3 being delayed over an hour or more. The Delray Beach Police Department analyzed data from January 1st, 2023 to October 31st, 2025 as it pertained to response times to all calls for service. These calls were broken down by priority and averaged out to find the moment the call was dispatched to the officer, to the moment the officer arrived on the scene. So basically, from the time the call is received to the time the officer arrives on scene, that's considered the response time that we actually look at and what we have. So we go from priority 1 to 3 minutes, 51 seconds, priority 2, 6 minutes, 34 seconds, priority 3, 9 minutes and 45 seconds from the time your officer arrives on scene. Any questions, Commission?
No, any questions, anything?
So just to summarize, Chief, for your highest priority calls, the response time less than 4 minutes. Your lowest priority calls less than 10 minutes, and that's based on 2 years of data that you have collected to establish those call times?
3 years.
3 years of data.
3 years of data.
Great. So I just want to clarify that to the general public, given some of the commentary that's been made up here about response times. I think those are really solid response times, and I appreciate the effort of our department. And frankly, rumors and statements made to the contrary without looking at these objective facts that we have based on data are extremely disrespectful to our police department and our hardworking officers. So thank you again, Chief, for clarifying this for the general public so everyone knows what a great job you're doing in Delray Beach.
Thank you.
Any other comments from any member of the commission?
No comments.
Thank you, Chief. Those are good.
Thank you.
Those are good statistics. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any comments from the city manager?
No, again, we spent time with one another as we work collaboratively, and we thought this would be excellent clarification given the facts regarding the response times. At this time,
We
I
got
would
the
like to ask fire rescue leadership to offer a
Thank you very
similar
much, Chief.
presentation, to also consider a 3-year trajectory or a analysis over the previous 3 years relative to response times for fire rescue, including EMS and other related activities. Gentlemen, please.
Hi, good evening. Steve Mays, Assistant Fire Chief. I'm in charge of operations. So tonight, I'm going to give you guys a brief summary, just like the chief did for the fire department response times. So this slide, this is probably the most important slide that I'm going to show you guys. I want to try to break down what a response time is. You guys think of response time as somebody called 911 and we respond to their house. That is the definition of a response time. For us, it's broke down into categories though, and I want to make sure you guys understand this. So the call processing time, for us, that's when somebody calls 911 until dispatch determines is it police, is it fire, routes that call to the fire station. For us, the PSAP, which is it goes through Delray Dispatch, they figure out is this police or is this fire. When they figure out it's fire, then they have to transfer that call to Palm Beach County. So the goal for us is less than 60 seconds for the caller to call to them to alert the fire station that there's a call. The next one, and this is a big one for us, is our turnout time. So we're sitting at the table having dinner, tones go off. We have, depending on the call type, if it's an EMS call, the standard for us is less than 60 seconds to be in the truck is moving out of the station. If it's a fire call, then they give us a little more time because we have to go out and put all that protective gear on, then get on the fire truck and then respond to that call. So 60 seconds for an EMS, 80 seconds for a fire call. Then the travel time. The national standard at NFPA gives us 4 minutes. That's the standard. That's the time we leave the station until we arrive on scene. And then the total response time, that's you take all those numbers and you add those up. So the part that I want to emphasize on this is what we truly have control over, and that's our turnout time. We can control our turnout time. The travel time, you say, can we control it? Yes and no. It depends on, do you want to see a fire truck going down Atlantic Avenue at 70 miles an hour? I know we don't. So, and with the amount of traffic that is in Delray, that time is difficult for us to control. That it makes it more difficult for us with the amount of traffic that we have in the city. So the next slide just kind of illustrates what the calls received, it's dispatched. And then I want to give you guys, like on the first slide, it would give us 60 seconds or less for the dispatch. Our average is 45 seconds. For our turnout time, they give us that 60 or 80 seconds. Our average over the past 3 years is 54 seconds. Our travel time with the traffic, we're not meeting the standard. We're at 5 minutes and 13 seconds. And then our overall travel time is 5 minutes, but if you go to the next one, this kind of breaks down the total number of calls. I broke it down by station for you guys. In 2023, we were almost 17,000 calls. 2024, 17,138, and in 2025, we were just over 16,000 calls. So the next slide, I broke down, this is the average response time for each station for the last 3 years. So as you can see, for a fire call, we're a little bit more delayed because we have to, again, put all that gear on, then get on the truck and respond. So in 2023, it was 6 minutes and 16 seconds was our average for all 5 stations. 24 was 6 minutes, 19 seconds, and in 25, it was 6 minutes and 11 seconds. For the EMS calls, we were a little bit quicker. All 3 years, we were just under the 6 minute response time. So why is it important to us? Obviously, the faster we get there, the time matters for us. It saves lives and it saves property. Each phase is valuable because it gives us the data to look at to try to improve and make ourselves better. We're obviously continuing to monitor those response times, the dispatch times, our turnout times. With our accreditation, it's one of the things that we look at quarterly, annually, to see if we can improve it. It's one of our benchmarks that we look at constantly to see if we can improve and make ourselves better. Ongoing training and technology. I wanted to bring up the technology that Palm Beach County is working on this. It's traffic signal preemption, which basically we put technology in our fire trucks, and as we're responding to the calls, the traffic lights will know we're coming and they're going to trigger and make green lights to give us there quicker. So that's something we can look at, but of course there's always a cost associated with that. So is there any questions for us?
To the commission, Mr. Long?
I'll just echo the same sentiment that I had for the police chief, which is, first of all, thank you for clearing up any misconceptions about your response time. I know how seriously you guys take response time as a benchmark, and these numbers are very impressive. You guys respond to a lot of calls and work really hard, so I want to thank you.
Mr. Marker?
Yeah, I just want to say the same, gentleman, and Chief Hunter, I mean, tremendous results. I think you guys are doing great. I love the technology with the traffic lights. It's a no-brainer, get us there a little bit quicker, and so investments in those areas to me are very wise.
And if I may, one of the interesting points that we're going to be looking at and measuring is our new Fire Station 113. You know, new facilities, new ways of laying out a facility. It's going to be interesting to see what the response and turnout times look like out of that facility, because it was so thoughtfully designed by the Public Works team and our team with the fire rescue that building is designed around getting people out the door quicker. So that's going to be interesting to measure.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez, Commissioner
I just
Byrne?
have.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank you. I just have one question. When you say 16,000 calls, does that apply? Does that mean, is that considered each vehicle, or is that 44 calls a day incidents?
That's incidents per day.
Wow, thank you.
Commissioner Burns? anything?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to both departments for your service and your commitment to public service in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm also very interested to see whether or not the new design and technology adds to, an already impressive response time. So thank you very much for both of you for everything. From the public, we're now opening this up to public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak, come up to the lectern. You will each have 3 minutes. Unless you represent a group of 6 or more people who are here, don't wish to speak, then you will be given an additional 3 minutes. I'm sorry?
Just a reminder that our new rules are in effect.
You can send them
Name
around.
and zip code.
So
I'm
no, I'm
sorry?
not lying.
Name and zip code.
Oh, no, that's right. Please give your name, your name and zip code.
All right.
Name and zip code for the
Lee
record.
Road
And please sign in.
33483.
People, you've
I signed
signed in.
in.
Everyone signed in?
All
Good.
right. So these are the
Okay.
comments that you made at the end of the last meeting. Let's do
The
this.
gentleman spoke about the 9/11 response time, and I'm fairly certain that was not accurate what he said.
It's not accurate at all.
Right, and so maybe at your comments in the next beginning of the meeting, could you address that?
Yes.
Because I don't like when people say things like that to our public. We're doing a great job.
I'll accomplish that via the November.
Okay, so you guys are doing a great job. I've been coming up here several times in support of the police. Have had several officers reach out to me to speak on their behalf for a pay raise because they were being underpaid. We've had several incidents on the Barrier Island where my family's safety has been at risk. And this situation where you said that I'm not accurate, the city manager says not accurate at all. Julie Casal, I'm not accurate. So this is the 911 call, which I provided evidence, irrefutable evidence for what happened. I called 911 at 5. Well, let's start off. I woke up that morning on the 9th of September with an alert saying that there were gloved masked criminals running up and down my neighborhood, stealing and burglarizing vehicles. So that's the way I woke up that morning. I checked my surveillance footage. Yes, they have professional thieves. They have gloves. They have masks. They're walking up and down the street, running up from a car, and they're robbing cars. That's how my day started, okay? At 5 p.m., 4:45, I was mowing my own lawn because I cut my own grass. A car with 5 adult males approached me, smoking weed, tinted windows, started yelling expletives, threats towards me. Well, I'm just literally turned my lawnmower off standing there, threatening me, cursing at me. I definitely felt threatened. Considering what I saw that morning, I have an 11-year-old daughter, I called 911 immediately because I was told by several officers that's what you do when you feel threatened. If someone's coming, right up to your property, it's like that. I called them 911. The call was logged, irrefutable here at 5 p.m. I'm on the phone here, my security surveillance at 5 o'clock, 48 seconds, on the phone with 911. The police called me to say I'm on my way at 5:11 p.m. I said, where the hell are you? I definitely felt threatened. I went in, I had to be armed. The woman said, go in your house until the police come. I went in my house. 5:11, they're on their way. 5:18 and 48 seconds, which is almost 19 minutes after I called, the police is observed arriving at my residence. At 5:19 and 29 seconds, it's me outside telling the police officer what's going on. Being that there has been crime in the neighborhood, there was a home invasion where they actually broke in a front door on another residence. So you have the evidence. Please take a look at it. I'm not wasting my time coming up here. I advocate for the police. I appreciate the police. I even appreciate you guys. But please don't misconstrue what I'm saying and call me basically a liar. And I had to bring in evidence to show you what is going on. I come up here because I care about public safety. I care about everybody's welfare. And I'm sharing evidence that it took 19 minutes, which is completely unacceptable for a 911 response call. It turned out to be an Instacart delivery.
Thank you very
And that's
much.
what it was, but you guys just need to work on that.
Thank
So I
you
don't
very
know what your
much.
stats are.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Vera Woodson, 33445. I'm here this evening to tell you about some wonderful news that is happening in the city. Over a year ago, I attended a town hall meeting presented by Mr. Moore and his staff regarding just general information, but during that, it was a question from one of the residents, what was going to happen with the homeless population when the new ordinance came down and we needed to remove them from public spaces. So I heard that there was a family of 9 that was living in a storage unit. I couldn't sleep that night, and the next day there was a DDA meeting, a DDA event downtown, and I happened to run into Lieutenant Gary at the time to tell him how concerned I was. Mr. Markert was there as well and said, Vera, basically, whatever you want to do, I will help you to get this so that you can get through the evening so that you don't have to worry about it. So he sprung into effect. Well, I still didn't let it go because I said, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. So I started investigating and found out that in the city, at the time, there were 73 students that were considered unhoused. And I just couldn't sleep. So I reached out to one of the schools, offered to provide a pantry at my own cost to put new clothes and items in there, hygiene items that would help to support those students, with the goal of expanding it to the 8 schools. Coco Market stepped up and helped me with toothbrushes and toothpaste and all those types of hygiene products. But in the process of this, I ran into Rita with the Rotary. Thank you, God. With the
You may have a rosary as well. You
the
gotta
Rotary.
check your
I needed a
purse.
rosary at the time. But I was like, I just couldn't let it go. And I am very much a public servant from being a teacher all the way till now. And so what happened was, Rita said, well, how can we help? And I said, I am so glad you asked. So I want Rita to come up here and tell you about how the Rotary has now taken the baton and how we have been working together over the last, how many weeks? I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks with Janai from the city of Delray Beach, who is a godsend in terms of education. And being a former educator, she doesn't just walk the walk, she talks the talk, and she is very professional and astute in that area. And I hope that she is here. Oh, there you are. Love, okay? All of it. There you go. But I want them to tell you how the rodeo. Now I'm like slipping up. How the Rotary is going to take this, and we are going to expand it to all 8 schools in Delray, where there will be brand new clothing for all unhoused students, hygiene, underwear, socks, all of those things. So I want to say thank you, and with that one step, we are going to change Delray Beach for children.
Thank you very much. For the record, by the way, I always bring a rosary to the rodeo.
Yes, you should. Thank you.
You never know when someone's going to need to be paid on for. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Good evening. And as always, thank you for all you do.
You're here on behalf of the Rotary, correct?
I'm here on behalf of the Rotary.
And what I'm saying is, I see a number of Rotary members. Are you speaking on behalf of all of them as a group?
I'm speaking on behalf of my Rotary members. Would you please stand
Fine.
up?
No. I can count. I just wanted to. So.
Chief Hunter.
What I'm saying is, I'm granting you the additional time if
Yes.
you're here speaking on the group, and they're not all going to get up and speak.
Yes,
So
correct. I'm taking their minutes. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Actually, Rotarians should actually get less time.
So
I'm a Kiwanian. I just want you to know. But anyway, so that's
as is our
inside joke. Sorry.
Yeah, as is our manager Moore. For our Rotarians, our fabulous group of Rotarians, we also have our much appreciated Chief Hunter is a Rotarian, as well as our esteemed Executive Director of the DDA, Laura Simon, is a Rotarian. We have some fabulous groups here, non-for-profit groups here in this city. We happen to be one of the longest running, and if anybody is charitably inclined or looking for fellowship, we invite you. You can contact me via delrayrotary.org. But today we hear about something exceptionally important, and that is the fact, as Vera had stated, that we have just about 100 children experiencing homelessness right here in Delray Beach. So Vera, on her own, was putting necessary items like hygiene items, undergarments, things that these children might need, and filling a closet in one school. And what we're doing now is we're going to bring it to all 8 schools. So what also prompted this, I was at a meeting, and I know, Mayor Carney, that education is exceptionally important to you. And we were talking about literacy rates, and there was a young woman here, answering and fielding questions, and that is Janai Bowens, who is and I'm going to try and get this right. Actually, what is your title? Because I could never get it right.
Education and External Opportunities Manager.
Okay. We owe this woman a standing ovation, what she accomplishes for this city and the amount of knowledge that she knows. She is genuinely phenomenal, okay? So what Janai did for us, because we wanted to, again, the Rotary said, absolutely, we support this initiative. We want to get these children whatever they would need. We went to Janai, and she worked with the county to get what's called the McKinney-Vento list that kind of talks about the children in each school that has a need for these items. Then she also contacted each of those schools and asked them to please coordinate with me an opportunity for me to come in and see where can we put these items that they'll be safe, that they'll be private, and that the council can work with these children to get them these items that they need. We asked them to give us all the information which we received. Now on Amazon, just like a gift registry like you would do for a wedding or for baby shower, we put all those items on that registry. You can get that and contribute through this QR code here, or if you like to have fun, how many of you have ever been to Goodnight John Boy's? All right. Trust me, it's a great fun venue. So if you're charitably inclined and you want to have a little fun at Well, you can purchase a ticket for Thursday between 6:30 and 8:30 for $30. You get a drink and some food, and that goes 100% towards these items for these children, all right? Now, I just kind of wrote this because I understand the kind of community, not our community, but we are in a certain environment. How many of you have actually tutored a child? Okay, so you know, one of the biggest components that you need to give that child is confidence. That's what this is also giving them. So we're helping to build confidence, support learning, improve the classroom environment for all children, and enhance the school's reputation. Beyond that, this effort prevents long-term social costs and strengthens the shared value that we all hold in this community, because that's who we are as Delray Beach residents, okay? I will also tell you that I come from a long family of people who are interested in education and educators. My aunt was a doctoral professor. She specialized in children's learning. She has donated these books, and it's entitled How to Make the Children You Love Really Good Readers. So if anybody would like one, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. So I'm hoping that you're all invited to come out and support these children. And again, thanks to my fellow Rotarians and to Janai Bowens, to the city, to the community. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Rita, thank you very much. I mean, and I want to thank the Rotarians for all the work that they're doing in this regard. You mentioned confidence, and having been around this, and this entire commission knows this, when kids going to a class and they're, they don't have the right shirt, or they don't have, because it may be, too old, or maybe they don't have the right backpack, or they don't have the right books. They're different, and so to the extent that kids can all be normalized going in, it's so much better for their confidence to sit there and try to progress. So I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing. Everybody, Thursday, I'm doing a plug from here, which I don't normally do, but
right outside, so if anybody wants to pick them up.
It's such an important thing. Thank you very much. Thank you to you and to the Rotary for everything you're doing. And you didn't even use your 6 minutes, so there you go.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. It's Paul Cannon, 1021 East Heritage Club, 33483. A couple of unrelated things I wanted to mention this evening. First of all, next week sees the celebration of Veterans Day. I would humbly request that you consider relaxing the parking restrictions so that we can have as many people come out to participate in those celebrations as possible. We owe it to our veterans to acknowledge them and thank them for their service. My second matter is a very personal one. You're probably all aware October is Breast Cancer Awareness. What is perhaps lesser known is that November is about men's health and the importance of screening and the importance for men to check themselves. So I appeal to everybody listening, particularly our heads of directors of various departments, to make sure that everybody gets the message about the importance of men's health, that men should check themselves, get their PSA checked at least every 6 months. I know from my own experience that doing that caught my cancer in time. I was able to be treated. I'm now cancer-free, thank God. So I'm a testament to that important screening. So I do implore you to spread the word. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. So nice to see you again, Tracy. Am I giving my address? What do I do?
No, just your zip code.
Just 33444. Hi, it's so good to see all of you. I'm.
Last name.
Your last name?
Lit.
Okay, good.
So I'm back again, and I intend to continue to come back because I actually don't have a complaint. I have a phenomenal solution where I want to create a ridiculous amount of money for the city. And I wanted to do this before, but now after hearing from each person that has spoken, when we're talking about giving more money to the police to make sure that everything is handled, more money to all of the departments, money so all of these children in downtown and in the city are getting clothes and getting food and getting water, so that we can help close the massive, I think the last time we were here was a $25 million deficit in the city. And my solution, I am a CEO of my own company. I am here with several peers of mine. And the travel business for events, specifically in entrepreneurial and business-oriented events, according to the Travel Association, is $126 billion, and that's only in 2025 alone. The projection is upwards of $4 billion as you move into 2026 and 2027. There are an outrageous amount of open parcels in our city that are sitting there dormant, collecting dust, taking up space. What I am asking is, give us a building. There are several we've been scoping out in size. Let us handle it. Let us churn a profit. Take the money that we can earn, you can earn, and we can give back to the city. One of the recent stats in the research says that each attendee that comes to an event spends a minimum of $1,000 a day. And in our city, you can't spend, it'll be a minimum of $2,000 a day. And 40% of anyone who attends a business-based event brings a spouse. And what does that spouse do all day long when you're at your event? They're spending money in our city. We have a massive opportunity. So what I'm going to do is pause, because the last time I was up here, it was my first rodeo and I didn't know how it goes. I would like you to respond so that I can understand how this works, because getting stared at feels weird. So like, what's the next move? when we're
We
really
don't
coming with
normally
a solution?
respond to
Cool.
comments made.
Okay.
I made a rare exception for the Rotary Club and the kids.
Totally get that. Yep.
So I guess
What happens when we're bringing forth a real legit solution that costs the city nothing?
what I would recommend that
Yeah.
you do
Mhm.
is to write to the commissioners.
Okay.
Write to us, outline what you want. We will respond to you. Each will, we'll get a different response. Copy the city manager, who will then start the process of analyzing what you're saying and see what kind of response you get.
Okay, great.
That's
And
what
how
I
do I
would do.
contact the commissioner?
We're on the website. It's on the website. You're
Okay.
just City of Delray Beach. There's a.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Litt.
Thank you.
Kelly Roach, 33483. I'm back again. I'm here because we need innovation, we need solutions, we need to solve the $25 million deficit. I'm here because Delray Beach can and should be the crown jewel of South Florida. We have an incredible police force in Delray that put their lives on the line for us every single day. We are currently down 22 officers. We are losing officers continuously to the surrounding and neighboring Florida properties because we don't pay our Delray Beach officers appropriately and we don't staff them appropriately, which is why these things have come up. Now, the reason for me coming up to these meetings is that I did watch online previously. I saw things being passed that are hurting homeowners, like increasing taxes on homeowners barely paying their mortgages on gains on their property that they're not accessing. Why? Why are we doing that to our property owners? And then I see businesses in downtown Delray. I personally do not have a business in downtown Delray. I do everything virtually. So neither of these issues affect me personally from that standpoint. But businesses are going out of business, and now we're making people pay for parking, making it even harder for them. And I'm here because I have proposed the solution that we dedicate a space in downtown Delray. Boca Raton has one. If you look at any city that actually wants to be competitive, they have dedicated space to innovation. Why? Because that's how you bring dollars, tourism, leaders, innovators into your city. If we want to solve a $25 million deficit, we need solutions, we need action, we need innovation. And dedicating a space in downtown Delray, as Tracy already mentioned, as I mentioned last month already, would bring millions of dollars into the city. And priority number one, if we want Delray to rise to its capability, is taking care of our police officers who take care of us. We want to see them paid better. We want to see more of them. And when we do that, and we do that through the channel of driving the right types of people into the city, leaders, people with families, people that have dollars to spend, the whole tide of Delray is going to rise instead of squeezing the business owners who are already struggling, the homeowners barely paying their mortgages. So I asked the commission to get involved in solutions, right? We have these meetings. I find it kind of strange that there's no response to the solutions being brought. I know several people mentioned they have emailed the commission with ideas and things, but haven't gotten a response to it. So happy to send an email following the meeting today, but I don't want to go around and red tape Tracy, myself, the other business leaders. We run our own companies. We don't have businesses in downtown Delray. I just booked 2 events in Boca Raton because Boca Raton is committed to innovation. They have a massive innovation center, just booked their gorgeous campus. So I'm flying hundreds of leaders from around the globe. All those dollars, they're all going to Boca Raton. They should be coming to Delray. So my plea is that we stop passing legislation in Delray that hurts the residents and the business owners, and instead that we take proactive action to create solutions that will lift the tide together, starting, please, with public safety, which is paying our officers well and staffing them appropriately so that they can do their jobs for us, which they desperately want to do.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Queen. How's everybody doing today? Want to tell the city manager and the chief of police.
Name and zip code, please.
Queen, zip code 33444 or 33445, whichever one I go to. I'm here today. 33444.
No, that's fine. I'm not just. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm here today because I know we're talking about security in Delray, the officers that are they're needed to have an increase in pay and so forth and so on. The only problem that I'm having with it is maybe they don't need an increase in pay. Maybe we need to cut some of them off the program altogether and rehire. There's an incident going on where the city manager and the chief of police is very much aware, where I have had my life threatened with one of the officers, Sergeant Troy Bear. I have been mortified in my life. I have been waiting on the city manager and also the chief of police to come and address this issue. I have video showing, if you want to put it up on the big screen, and you tell me whether or not me as a 6'2" black woman, queen of me goddess, there is no reason for a young man 5'1" to stand up under me in my face like this, won't move in the lobby of Delray Beach Police Department with his hand on his pistol because he's following me around the Delray Beach Police Department for the second or third time and in my face, in camera, with the rest of the men inside the lobby threatening to arrest me. Made me feel like I'm a career criminal. I am a felon. I have 2 felonies. I am convicted when I was 22 years old for $5,000 to $7,000. But because of our Constitution, which it will be changed, because of the Constitution, I cannot possess a weapon, but you got the right to carry a deranged officer like that standing in my face, intimidating me with these interrogating tactics, then bringing the other backup lynch mob behind me. That is not acceptable. Those are not the cops that get increases. The cops that get increases are the cops that do their jobs. The city managers that sit seats like that are the ones that back people up like me, whether I have a criminal record, whether I'm a black woman, whether I'm 6'2", I can't change any of that. But things will change around here. So what you guys are doing when everybody come to the table and they go round and around, no, it's time for us to get out the circle. And getting out the circle means get out the circle. We're not getting out the circle in Delray. Things are remaining the same. And it looks very funny to me to see a bunch of men to the top. And there's no resolution when a woman come in feeling threatened for her life, even by their own police department after video, and I know they've had time to watch it. I mean, they walked in a meeting with me late as hell, but they were on time today, and it was felt good for you to address me by my name today, but you forgot to speak to me all day, all weekend, when I have been in fear of my life because of your Caucasian officer. And I know you know the story. And it's unfair to me that I had to come here today and get out of my graveyard. And y'all wake Lilith up like this? I just came for respect and peace. I should not be threatened. I should not feel intimidated. Your officers are not bigger than me outside of a badge in a uniform. And as a black man, I felt like you would have stood up for me, not just as a chief of police, not just as a new one as that position, but probably as a brother, probably as a daddy.
Thank you,
as
ma'am.
a sister, and you didn't do that for me, and it's not fair.
Ma'am, thank you very
You guys shut down black
thank you
women,
very
and
much.
that's one of the things that we need here. We need something
Ma'am,
around here
thank
for
you.
black women because we don't get respect.
Thank you very much.
And there's still no response from anywhere. I've been waiting on you and you.
Ma'am.
Do I get a response here? I came to the next level. I went to the city
Ma'am,
manager.
thank you very-
I went to the chief of police. I've been to the lieutenant. Where is my complaint? I have fear for my life for your officer.
Ma'am.
Look at the message. He got his gun at me, threatening me in my face for what?
Ma'am, your time is up. Thank you very much for
That's
your
why
comments.
there's nothing done around here. Because you guys are cooking in these positions.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Valerie Landis, zip code 33445. I have lived in Delray since June 2024. I moved here from Chicago in the Midwest. I'm very happy to be a Floridian. I can tell you I have changed over my license plate and paying Florida taxes. And what I want to present is an idea that can help our city become great. I have been a part of city council meetings and council chambers in other states that I've lived in, and what I would like to bring is a conception and a concept of bringing.
Could you pull the microphone closer to you? Apparently they can't hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Out in the live, they just came out. They said they can't hear us. So, but I
Sorry.
appreciate that. Continue,
Okay.
please.
So I'd like to bring an idea that when I watched a city meeting with Kelly and Tracy's idea, it sparked, this is what I was trying to build by myself, and I didn't know they existed, and I'm sure there's more of us out there. And so we're trying to build an entrepreneur hub, a place where new ideas can grow and be built. And we need a location and a geography and a space to make that happen. Right now, the biggest need I see after living in multiple metropolitan areas is that there's no place to gather, there's no place to have events, charity balls, things that would bring the city revenue, such as meeting hubs and places that can bring our tourism to a new level. And as an Airbnb host, as a real estate agent, as a medical professional, working in multiple different entrepreneur spaces, our idea, I have a 27-page business plan that I can help show how to make this viable. All we need is a location and a space that would be deemed available for the public to be able to preside and be, have food vendors and an entrepreneur space, a co-working space, a podcast studio, things that can be rented and then bring in revenue, and I'm happy to help you build it. And then all we can do is then be known for the tourism as people are coming to our city and bringing in tax revenue dollars. And these are ideas that are very easy to implement, and all we need to do is find a location. I've been scouting a location for 18 months and have been getting ridiculous prices for a place to build such an event center that could really be implemented for Delray to be known and put on the map. So
Thank you very much. Have you left a copy of your business plan with the clerk?
what I'll do is I'm gonna get with the gals that
Gotcha.
also have equal ideas. We're going to reformat it to fit this, so it's very cognitive and understandable, and then you could put
That's fine.
legs to it and then present the plan.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Montre Bennett 33444. Greetings to you all.
Three things. Walking through the set and it is terrible to see people just throwing cat food all over the sidewalks and leaving it. It is terrible. So whatever we need to do to clean that up, we need to do it, because I'm sick of it. Why I gotta be in my neighborhood? The sidewalks, literally. I ain't gonna say no names. Second, as far as the supermajority goes, let residents be in charge of what happens and let us vote on that to make our voices be heard on how we want our city to be ran. We need stability. And if you're going to do what you want to do willy-nilly, that's cause instability. Lastly, well, I got two more things. Go visit these schools. Y'all got time. Go visit all the schools. Put y'all selves together in a van and tour these schools together. And let the students see y'all faces so they know that they are being recognized, being heard, and being seen. And Plumosa SAT meeting is the last, I want to say the last Wednesday of the month, 5:30. Lastly, I know y'all talking about redoing the police station. Maybe, I know people don't get held in those cells for long, but maybe y'all add a homeless shelter to the police station so homeless people got somewhere to go to in the midst of the night and not sleeping on the streets. I'm complete.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. Marjorie Waldo from Arts Garage 33444. I want to thank you, Commissioner Casal. I started to say first names and I decided to correct myself. Deputy Vice Mayor Burns, Commissioner Markert, City Manager Terrence Moore. Thank you for witnessing for Arts Garage in our annual campaign video. It meant a lot. And if you watch it, they were all stars. I wanted to tell you about our impact. We've just started our annual campaign. As usual, we do about 300 performances, classes, and community events. I'm documenting about a year's worth of time, fiscal year, October to September. Our attendance in that time period was up 6% from the prior year, 7%, and 94% from the year I took over, with over 31,700 attendees. The Marshall Family Foundation in that period of time, it doesn't sound like a lot, but these are all emerging artists. They have taken home over $43,000 in revenues from the sale of their art. 233 artists have been featured in 78 dynamic exhibits with over 42,000 visitors to our gallery. Our partner program this past year provided over 1,700 free tickets to nonprofits who have joined the program. And our community impact, we did 9 rentals in that year. For a lot of them, if not all, were for local community nonprofits like the Miracle League, the Sunflower Creative Arts School, and Adventure Charter School, as well as the Florida Department of Transportation, the City Managers Palm Beach Association, and the Palm Beach League of Cities. Discounted rental rates saved these organizations over $57,000 per our fees. We charged all 9 a total of $14,000. We have 85 active volunteers, and it's an approximation based on the Do Good Institute at the University of Maryland that the 10,000 hours they donate annually are worth about $330,000 to the organization. Arts education, we had over 60% of our Set the Stage, which is now Places Summer Camp participants who received scholarships, which is a value of about $33,750. We've had 2,400 students from Village Academy, Plumosa we added this year, and Spady Elementary come to watch performances through the Kimmel Family series, and I think that's it. The scholarships valued $17,000. I've got 2 different numbers, so I'm really not sure what they are, so just ignore those numbers. Economic impact, $3,907,828 is our total industry impact. $420,000 approximately spent before and after shows. 51% of our patrons spend at local businesses. $50,000 in parking fees, that's going up. anyway, we've done a lot, and I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and panel. My name is Billy Corse, and this is my partner, Chef Raheem Jones, and we are the proud owners of the Delray's Atlantic Avenue newest restaurant, True Vegan. And we're really excited to be here and be part of the community. And it's after about a year in getting every license and permit known to man, and spending $1 million, we are really, really excited about opening. Our grand opening is going to be on the 15th of the month, and we had a great turnout this weekend. We were giving samples away to some folks, and we gave out nearly 2,000 samples of our food, and positive results. And it's really been a wonderful experience working with everyone in the city and all of the people that helped us get to this point. And Raheem, I think you want to show your appreciation and talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I guess so. We wanted to say thank you, and we wanted to extend a 20% discount. You guys can help pass the word out for any of the city employees, firefighters, and police. That's our way of saying thank you, trying to show our appreciation, trying to get you guys eating a little healthier, being able to make sure that the police officers can catch people because they're eating well. And I want to take 2 seconds. We're all blessed here. Just pray for Jamaica. If you could find a way in any shape, form, or fashion to do something for those people, it would be, I'm sure they would appreciate it. We are blessed to be in this city and in this wonderful town, and I'm excited to get started working for you guys, and that's about it.
On a last note, we just hired a little over 40 people that we're in the process of training now, and the majority of them will Delray residents. So we're really happy about that.
Thank you very much, and good luck. Yes.
Could you ask what is the address, gentlemen?
123 East Atlantic Avenue.
Thank you.
In between Saucios and Tremonti.
Yeah, you used to have a little sign out there, right there. There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, Attorney. I'm here, my name is Ernestine Holiday.
I need your zip code too.
My zip code is 33444. I'm here today to speak in favor of our City Commissioner returning to a supermajority voter status. A supermajority can lead to more durable, considered, and broadly supported policies, especially for critical issues such as amending local charters or significant financial decisions. A supermajority is a good idea because it ensures the major decisions have broad bipartisan support and are less likely to be made or reversed quickly due to shifting political tides. Key benefits of a supermajority is it fosters consensus, it enhances stability, it protects minority interests, and it protects rare decisions as we look at Delray's history. When we have a commission governed by a supermajority, City Manager David Hart was in position for 20 plus years. Since removing of the supermajority, the City Manager's office has been a revolving door. 10 city managers in approximately 11 years. This is not the way to support a 3-time All-America city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Greetings, Mayor, other members of the dais. My name is Angela Hill. My zip code is 33444. I don't have a script like Mrs. Ernestine Holliday, but I would like to piggyback on what she said. I don't want any elected official or anyone working for the commissioners. They are here for the city in its entirety, and no one can fulfill their duties or their job if they're walking on eggshells or feeling the need to appease each one of you all. They need to have the flexibility and the freedom to show up in their real form and who they are, very transparent. We hired them. I'm sure you all did your homework when looking at their resume and their interview. So we're going to trust the decision you all made. Now that you've made that decision and elected individuals, allow them to come in and represent themselves as such. But having them under the scope that at any moment you all can put their job on the ballot is not fair, and it doesn't allow them to perform for the city. They work for us. So I would like for you all to consider the supermajority. I do think it gives sustainability and stability. So just keep that in mind. I would love to see it on the ballot. Angela Hill.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. Pamela Williams, zip code 33444. I too am for the supermajority. Having been a 35-year civil service employee, not covered by any bargaining unit, I know the fears of having one or two bosses who may not like your outspokenness or your temperament, and it is used against you as opposed to having a way of having someone to talk it out. Supermajority would make sure we would keep a bit of stability in Delray. As some of my earlier residents and neighbors have stated, it has been a while since we had stability. At one time, we were the joke of the Tri-County area. We have stability now. Let's make sure we're not running them off because they didn't do anything for a particular PAC, a particular neighborhood, or a particular resident. Supermajority keeps everybody in line to where if it's a supermajority, there's obviously a problem. Let's keep with that mindset and let's not make it personal because you all here work for me. And with that being said, make my money work for it, except get an investment. I don't want to have to continue to train up someone and they move on because there's personality conflicts. Let's make this work to where we are keeping in some of the education we're putting on these new people, some of the time, some of the training. By keeping it super, it means less chance of personality conflicts. And once again, I'm giving someone a nice golden parachute to relocate to Delray Beach because that really is what they're doing. Let's give them time to be a part of the community, part of the neighborhood, so they really become a part of it, not just a stepping stone to get to Boca or Naples or wherever. The majority is what we need. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner Yvonne Odom, 33445. I have two things I'd like to address. First of all, November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. I know you did with the prostate, and I am a 12-year stage 4 lung cancer survivor from secondhand smoke. Yes, and I stand here by the grace of God and my doctors, and I've lived through my dad, my siblings, my co-workers, restaurants who smoked. I never smoked, and I developed lung cancer because of secondhand smoke. So I appreciate legislation who saw the need, and now we can go places and you don't have to breathe in somebody else's smoke. What I'm urging everybody to do, if you smoke, quit. And you people who have middle school students, let me warn you, they start upper elementary, middle school, and your sweet little kid that was in elementary and sweet, that's where they start. And nicotine is one of the worst addictive chemicals, so please be aware. Now, my second part is about the supermajority. I've been here long enough to know we had it once in Delray. It worked very well, and Politics got in the way, and it was put on the ballot, and the voters voted to go back to a simple majority. And my personal opinion is when you have somebody who has to manage you, it should be difficult. The attorney should be in that position, also the city manager. Then we had this other thing called a comptroller. I don't even know what they do. But 4 of you can decide if they're no good, and sometimes you go 5-0. So that's why I strongly support us doing that, and the public need to understand why it's important to have a supermajority to fire a city manager. It brings stability, and when we did have the supermajority, our city manager stayed a very long time because that took out the personality. They did their job, and they were allowed to do it. So I think the attorney, because those are the 3 positions, if I'm not mistaken, that you all have control over. The city manager, city attorney, and then this new comptroller, and somebody one day is going to, or whatever it is, y'all going to explain it to me, because that was something new as our city progressed. So once again, observe lung cancer awareness, prostate, do your due diligence, and thank God for life, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
All right, good evening. Andrea Bruton, 33445. I am excited to say that on Saturday I will get some relief from some of the brush that's on my property extending over from my neighbor's property. So I want to thank Neighborhood Services, Jerry and her crew. Secondly, today I want to share why I believe in having a supermajority requirement for commission decisions. In the beginning, it might sound like just another technical rule, but it's really about how we make choices that affect our entire community. When big decisions are made with the 3-2 vote, which is only 51%, it has many ways of affecting our stability. It has created division, resentment, and policies that swing back and forth every time the balance and the shift change. But when we require a supermajority, it pushes everyone to work together. It encourages collaboration and ensures that major policy changes truly reflect the will of a clear majority of the residents. This kind of process doesn't silence anyone. It actually does the opposite. It invites more voices to the table and forces leaders to find common ground that most people can support. Again, it leads to decisions that are more stable, more balanced, and more lasting. At the end of the day, our community deserves policies that stand the test of time. A supermajority requirement helps us build the stability and trust. It ensures that when big choices are made, they're made with broad agreement and shared purpose. So let's aim higher than a simple majority. All right, I just lost my place, but I'm getting back there, excuse me. So let's aim higher than a simple majority. Let's make decisions that unite, not divide. When we build a consensus, we build a stronger and more resilient community for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Reggie Cox, 33444, somewhere USA. Hopefully I didn't overcorrect, because I think that's something that we have to be careful with, overcorrecting, and I think that's actually the history of the supermajority in Delray Beach going away. Some of the history goes back to, I think, Louis Chapman and some issues with some waste management contracts at the time, and some nuclear option decisions and overcorrection. Why was it an overcorrection? Well, the next 10 years, it was a revolving door in the city manager's office. I think maybe 2 years at the most, even not inclusive of interim city managers. So overcorrection, and sometimes taking a nuclear option, as proven in Delray Beach not to be the best way to go. Also, I was employed with the city of Delray Beach 9 years before Greg Banks started. And so I know a little something about stability. And it's really a deeper dive. When you're talking about the number of community plans that we have in this city, for example, Visions West Atlantic, Vision 2020 report, South Ridge redevelopment plan, South Federal Highway redevelopment plan, Silver Terrace redevelopment plan, Pineapple Grove plan, the cultural plan, which got the Arts Warehouse and the Arts Garage here, North Federal plan, Lindale Federal redevelopment plan, HPD bike plan, Delray Beach parking management plan, downtown master plan, City of Delray Beach housing assessment study, BPOA design manual, bike ped feasibility study, and so on and so forth, the set transformation plan, the Southwest plan. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So these are guiding plans and guiding documents that help us. And we need a city manager with a strong staff, strong directors, okay, succession planning in place to make sure all these planning objectives get completed and we stay on track. Every time there's movement in that office, particularly in the director's offices, it's reset, 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 reset. And we wonder why things don't get done. A constant state of reset, okay, because of simple, quick, overcorrective decision over 10 years ago is not the healthiest position for Delray Beach now, given the amount of work that needs to be done in some of the areas that still lag behind within the city of Delray Beach. So the best approach, okay, for Delray, looking at the city as a whole, okay, would be that the commissioners make the policy and the legislation, and the city manager operates and manages the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was getting worried when I didn't see you stand up, Mr. Long, that you were going to kind of, you know.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I was going to grant you whatever time you needed to get you up here.
I'm sorry, George Long, 33444. I thought the super majority conversation was going to go along with an agenda item or something. So I came ill-prepared and unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. We had everything said that needed to be said. These guys are right about the supermajority. I've lived here off and on since about 84 years. And only the last 10 years I've been coming, since I've retired, to all these meetings. And based on what I've seen just in a 10-year period, the supermajority is not a bad idea. It's a pretty good idea. It's not too hard to get three people together up here to come up with something that may be less than perfect of a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Supermajority is a good thing.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Chuck Ridley. I was 33444. Did I just do it right?
I know where your address is, but I mean, everyone knows your address, so it's, you know.
So
you see your house out of the window.
I have not been here 84 years, but I've been here 68 years. And I'm here to speak in favor of a supermajority. And as you shared, much of what I heard has already been said and well said. I'm want to bring on an additional point. A supermajority actually requires city commission to be extremely disciplined. I want you to ask yourself, do you consider over the last 10 years that those who, I mean, you guys are perfect, but those, your predecessors, do you for 1 second believe that they've had the temperament to manage a city in which our charter really directs the city manager to be in charge of day-to-day operation, that group of governing bodies was able to resist sticking their nose in the day-to-day operations and business? And if the answer to that question is no, and if the answer to that question is that you suspect that there are private citizens who may be texting a few of you, your predecessors, they wouldn't text any of you with ideas of what should be happening, or have breakfast at local restaurants providing you input on how the city should be run, and that if they did, you would be able to resist over abusing your power and stepping into the day-to-day, then a simple majority will work. But if that ain't the case, go to a supermajority, because we are so tired of only expecting the city manager to do their job and the elected officials to do whatever the heck you want. And there's a charter that drives the way you both should operate. Either follow the charter or go to supermajority. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you very much. 3 minutes to spare here because we were getting into an hour. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, I'm just going to mention two things, but because it may get too late. The Mayor's Chess Challenge is on Saturday, November 15th. I was asked to read this. You know, I liked winning my election, but if anybody wants to play chess and they want to be assured of winning, I'm your guy. So, anyway, Saturday, November 15th, 10 a.m. to noon at the Delray Beach Community Center. It's actually a great event. And I went last year. Surprisingly, there are a number of kids that go, play, and they are really good. We had a couple of chess masters there. So I've been asked to read this, so please think about it. Saturday, November 15th, if you play chess, you want to come out and humiliate the mayor, this is your time to do it.
What's the time again?
It's from 10 a.m. to noon at the community center. And the second thing is, someone mentioned Veterans Day. I do want to mention that it's going to be on November the 11th at 9 o'clock at the Old School Square Vintage Gymnasium, where we've had it for the last couple of years. It truly is a very nice event. I'll take under advisement with the city manager the relation to whether or not parking restrictions could be relaxed before noon that day to allow more people to attend, and we can address that issue later on in comments. But these are the two things I was asked to read. No more comments from here until later. So, right, we're moving on to the next agenda item? Okay, I need the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. We are now going into the regular agenda. Item 7A, discussion regarding the proposed charter amendment requiring a supermajority to remove the city manager. Ms. Jelen, you are making the presentation. It says.
It does.
Well, it just says,
I think we listed it as a discussion item. The ordinance is ready to go. As you know, any changes to the city charter require voter referendum. So the process would be an ordinance would be presented to the city commission. If you adopt it, then it would go on the March ballot for voter approval.
Okay, I'm happy to jump in with a comment initially. And initially, I served with on a commission which had a supermajority with Mr. Harden, and it was a very valuable thing to have. And I do acknowledge some of the comments that were made, but I will only say when you look at the last 10 years, you're trying to throw that in, but when you look at the last 5, which had a simple majority to remove a city manager, we've had the same city manager. So I don't think that the commission makes a decision to remove a city manager on an arbitrary or willy-nilly basis. I do think that everyone understands the importance of the job. And I truly believe that if you're going to have 3 votes, you'd get 4 votes. So I think the simple majority has worked. We took it to the voters 10 years ago. I will also say that a compelling thing is, if this were to be considered, which I don't think we should be doing tonight, I definitely think, and this was brought up in a newspaper editorial, the Sun Sentinel, which talked about if you're going to have something like this, it really should go to the voters in a general election in November, where you're going to have a much wider range of people voting on the issue, rather than just a 2,000 or 3,000 in an off year, non-presidential year. Municipal elections really bring out very few people. So I really think that kind of a charter change, because I said we had it once before. So I'm going to give everyone time to talk. So, because we're talking, this is as adopted for the things, it was try to be on the March thing.
I mean,
So-
my understanding was that the commission would have wanted it on the March election.
Correct. So I'm just saying. So, and so at the very least, but I did scout around and talk to a bunch of people, and look, feelings are strong both ways. And as I said, when I first heard it, said sounds great because I was on a commission that had this. After discussion and then looking about, how seriously my fellow commissioners take this job of city manager, and I said that they're not just a willy-nilly kind of thing. Let's get rid of the city manager, and it's been for the last 5 years we've had the same city manager with the same majority rule opportunity to discharge the job, discharge the city manager. It hasn't happened, so I'm inclined to not take this up at this moment and to keep it as is. Because I think it is working, and that's just my view. But I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Long, and I know this was your issue, and you are passionate.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, Mayor, I'm a bit caught off guard by your sudden change of pace on this. You were very supportive of it when I brought it up before, so this about face is a bit surprising to me. Regarding a November election, is that even possible? Would we have to pay for that if we're not putting it on a municipal ballot?
The clerk is nodding yes, and I think I agree with her.
So why would we pay extra money to do this whenever we could put it on our municipal ballot? Listen, I already articulated, I think, fairly clearly when I brought this up, the reasons to consider it. I brought this to the commission because it's something I've been hearing about from residents since before I was even elected. I've heard about this since the time of my campaign. From folks in the business community, from many of the folks you heard from tonight. And I'm not going to sit here and argue the merits of a supermajority. I frankly couldn't do a better job than the residents who spoke earlier. I think they did an excellent job of articulating why it's something we should consider. What I am going to argue is that we're not making that call tonight. All we're doing is giving a voice to the residents to have the choice to go back to that system. It's been on the ballot before. Why are we afraid to let residents vote on this? Why would we not allow that? Right? If folks don't like it, they can vote no. But we've seen tonight there are people that are interested in this idea and returning to a supermajority. Their voice should be heard. They should have that opportunity. And slow rolling this isn't going to change that. I've seen this commission slow roll things before. It's a tactic to make sure they don't get done. I know what that means. November is not an option. We're not going to spend more money to do it.
I'm not trying to slow roll it, but I will say that
you're in favor of it when I brought it up last time and moving forward, and now a Sunset article comes out and like we're changing course. Come on. So anyway, my point stands. It's already been well articulated why this concept is worth letting residents choose on. There's enough residents out there that have been talking to us about this for years. They should have a chance to vote on it. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Ms. Casal.
Yeah, and I would say, in fairness to the mayor, he did receive additional information, which is that none of our surrounding cities except Boynton actually have this. So that is one of the considerations we always look at when we're thinking about things. New information, sometimes you have new feelings. I would agree with the mayor. The Sun Sentinel said it best, reject this bad idea. And the Delray Gazette called this idea not so super, and I totally agree.
Your newsletter, the Gazette?
No, it's not my newsletter. I'm not that great of a writer. I wish I was. And if it were mine, I'd put my name on it. Delray residents already voted to change the supermajority requirement in August of 2014 at an election primary. The referendum question was put on the ballot in the aftermath of an Office of Inspector General investigation into a city manager that found transgressions and lying under oath. The commission could not get rid of him because they had the supermajority. Ultimately, taxpayers had to pay to get rid of him. So we see how this doesn't exactly work in a scenario where, you have somebody that does something that you may not appreciate. 3 people did not appreciate it, yet they couldn't get rid of him. He was paid. A super majority vote, according to the Sun Sentinel, requirement is inherently undemocratic, and I kind of believe that. He was voted in on a 3 vote, and that's the way it should be. And the Sun Sentinel said, and I agree, what's so bad about the simple concept of majority rule? It's more democratic, and it should remain that way in Delray. And I would just remind people, we do not have this discussion with respect to our CRA director, and we would never even fathom having this discussion. So you have to ask yourself, why are we having this discussion right now?
Commissioner Burns.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say that it's not necessary to discuss the reasons why it's good or bad. I think it can go both ways. It can be something that's beneficial and something that is harmful as well. But, we're simply asking our residents I think that they should decide and, taking it out of our hands. And I think that we should move forward with allowing the residents to decide. It's up to our residents and the voters, so I'm on board with moving forward and letting our residents decide whether we should have a supermajority vote or not.
Thank you. Mr. Marker.
Thank you.
I was going to say Mr. Tom, and then I said,
I've been called worse. It's okay.
Well, wait a minute, I'm Tom too, so
That's
you haven't
true.
been called much worse.
Well, your version's worse than mine, you're right. But I don't want to use a basketball analogy, but being 6'7", sometimes you have to do that. I did my homework around the community. It was kind of a jump ball on this one, to be honest with you. There's a lot of people that see value in it. There's a lot of people that don't see value in it. I personally don't have any problem with the 3-2 situation. We debate everything up here, and if we had issues with anybody, we would debate it, and I promise you we would reach the right decision. So I'm in favor of staying at 3-2 right now.
Interestingly, the next, I'm sorry, you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Interestingly, the day after this was brought to the commission to decide what we wanted to do, I received a phone call from Mr. Moore, who, and I'm going to give an opportunity to speak, if you wish, who said, he doesn't even want this. He's not looking for the supermajority. And his view was, quite frankly, that if 3 of the commissioners don't want me to stay, then I'm not going to stay, because you would be dealing then with the commission, whether it was 4-1. If you don't get 4-1, but it's 3-2, and you don't get discharged, you still have a majority of the commission that have voted against you. So that makes it very untenable to start with for the city manager to continue, because they don't have the support of the majority of the commission. Whether it's a supermajority or not, a city manager needs the support of the commission, a majority of the commission. So with that rationale, he said, look, I'm not even looking for it. If you would like to weigh in on this at all, because there was some speculation that you may have been behind this, and I just wanted to allay that the next day I got the call from you saying,
Can I just say something like, why is this about Mr. Moore? This is about city managers.
Thank you.
No,
Position
I agree.
Of city managers.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. But I've made my point about this. The comment that Mr. Moore made regarding a city manager who doesn't have the support of the majority of the commission. So it's not whether it's Mr. Moore sitting in that chair or
the position
Mrs. Moore
of city manager.
Well, to be fair, it's not Mr. Moore's decision. It should be a community decision.
No,
that's the
We got
point
the 3,
that's
though,
being
Mayor.
missed.
3.
That's the point that's
Got
being
you
missed here.
3.
We're talking about the conversation isn't over. So I'd like to at least make one more statement
You
about
may
it.
make one more statement.
So this commentary, first of all, the fact that we're basing our commentary on an editorial board is a bit sad, right? We're supposed to make our own decisions up here. And so to continually refer to what that's saying is a bit disconcerting to me, especially when you make the point it's undemocratic. To me, it's undemocratic to not allow our residents here to make the decision. That's the great irony here. And you're saying the city manager's against it. And I wanted to actually mention that too, because I'm glad you brought it up. Because there's an aspersion cast that the city manager and I schemed this together.
That's why I raised it.
Right, and I appreciate it, because I'll say on the record, Terrence and I never discussed this before I brought it up. Not once. Not once. I brought it up because it's something the community has brought up. And Commissioner, you referenced this as a jump ball. That's exactly why it should go to a vote. That's exactly why. So you're saying the folks who don't like this idea, their voice should be heard, but the folks who are interested in it, theirs shouldn't. Let everyone vote, right? If everyone's worried about this happening, last time this went to vote, people stuck with went to a simple majority. Maybe they'll stick with that. Why are we afraid to let the community make the decision here? We're not making the call. We keep getting caught up in the weeds about what's better, a simple majority of super. That's not what this conversation's about. This conversation is about whether we're going to let the community decide or not. That's what this is about. Doesn't matter what Terrence thinks. Doesn't matter what we think. It matters what the community thinks. And you've heard from the community today. Are we going to listen to them, or are we going to say, nope, you don't get a chance to vote on this? I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moore, did you want to weigh in on this?
I do.
You're not required to. I mean, it's not really related to you.
Anytime I have an opportunity to offer commentary and clarification, I think it's my obligation to do so.
I shouldn't have raised the issue. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, I do appreciate the opportunity, Mr. Mayor, because over the past couple of weeks, I did talk to each of you all individually regarding this matter. Some conversations were easy, some conversations were rather difficult. There was difficulty in that there had been some assertions and insinuations made that I was somehow interested or advocating for this particular consideration to be made available to residents and stakeholders. That is not the case at all. I do not operate that way, not only for the nature of the situation itself, but individually, as a city manager, not only in Delray Beach for a little over 4 years now, not quite 5, but a little over 4, but as well as the 4 previous city manager positions I've had, I simply did my best to rely on my professional and educational background and training to offer responsiveness, attentiveness, leadership, guidance, performance, and outcomes that would hopefully ultimately become valued and appreciated by residents, stakeholders, and elected officials alike. That is actually my constant hope and prayer while serving in the capacity of Delray Beach City Manager, as well as my previous other 4 city manager assignments. Therefore, given that that is my focus and a principle of integrity and ethics, it never occurred to me to even pursue any considerations along those lines. And I did my best to share those sentiments with each of you all individually when, quite frankly, some of you all took time to talk with me about it, and I decided to make it a point to reach out to all 5 of you to offer my perspectives in that regard. So it's never been my practice to rely on any particular ancillary crutch, support system, whatever the case may be. I simply rely on my background and experience to offer meaningful contributions that will hopefully offer a lasting impact. And here in the city of Delray Beach, Florida, we are extremely busy at this particular time and juncture. With the major projects, Mr. Marker, you've outlined a fairly comprehensive list a couple meetings ago, and quite frankly, leadership and guidance being offered at this particular time has a great deal to do with that. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like for you all to know as elected officials, as well as residents and stakeholders of the community, I remain not only grateful for the opportunity, but extremely enthusiastic as well. And again, it remains my constant hope and prayer that the respective sentiments will continue to be valued and appreciated by as many of whom I can touch. So those are my observations, and therefore a steadfast, resolute observation as to why I am here.
I'll be careful next time I say, did you have anything to say? I'm kidding. No, but my point was, it's not really about you. And I have asked a lot of questions, and I spoke to some of the other cities around us who have this rule, and of a simple majority. And other than Boynton, no one takes the hiring or the firing of a city manager if they're sitting up here casually. And so I'm confident that with everything I've discussed, that at this time, I don't think it's something we should pursue. So that's just my view.
We already gave all our views.
I'm sorry?
You've got a 3 consensus not to move it forward. Me, Mr. Market.
Right, no, I'm saying, so do we have a
done.
consensus to not move this forward at this time?
Was this just a discussion, or was there a motion?
Discussion
to
to
Well,
move
no,
it
that's a
forward.
discussion on it.
It's just a discussion.
So we're not really voting, we're just giving consensus.
No, you were
not-
just going to give me direction on how you wanted to
Okay,
proceed.
so you have 3 to say to not at this time, and 2 to say, yes. So I would say we have consensus not to move forward with this, correct? All? Fine. So we're done with 7A.
Thank you.
8A, public hearings.
So Mayor, 8A and 8B relate to the same matter, which is the Parking Management Advisory Board. So is it okay if I read them both at the
Oh,
same
no,
time?
no, I understand. Yep.
Thank you. Ordinance number 22-25, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Delray Beach, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances by amending Title 7, Traffic Code, Chapter 71, Parking Regulations, Section 71.023, limiting parking time on certain streets, and 71.056, parking meter zones, installation of meters, to eliminate the Parking Management Advisory Board, providing a severability clause, authority to codify, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 23-25, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Delray Beach, Florida, amending the land development regulations of the City of Delray Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administrative Provisions, Article 2.4, Development Application Requirements, Section 2.4.11, Relief, subsection F, in lieu of parking requests, to eliminate the Parking Management Advisory Board, providing severability clause, authority to codify, and providing an effective date. And these are both second readings, public hearings.
This is a second reading, and it's a public meeting. Ms. Gianotis.
So these are two ordinances that we brought forward at the direction of the City Commission back in the July 8th, 2025 meeting. There's an adjustment to the Code of Ordinances and one in the LDR that speaks to the in lieu parking relief. So PMAB was created in 1997. Ultimately, we were having trouble getting quorums, and it was making a little bit of a delay. But I think furthermore is that the city, over the years, has adopted quantifiable measures. We rely less on sort of anecdotal observations, things like that. So we have multiple parking plans. We have hearty discussions about parking at this level as well. And so this sort of extra step in the review process, I think, is not needed. So in the Code of Ordinances, it simply removes the PMAB from weighing in on the different parking zones and the meter zones and the installation of meters, obviously the pricing of meters. And then in the LDR, under the in lieu of parking fee, the procedure, it simply removes in the step of the process that you go to PMAB before you go to the other boards for recommendations. Again, anytime you change the LDRs, you're supposed to do it consistent with the comprehensive plan, which seeks ways to streamline processes. The Planning and Zoning Board reviewed this on September 16th. They only reviewed the LDR, and they voted 4-1 to recommend approval.
Thank you very much. This is a public meeting. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this, please come to the lectern. You will have 3 minutes. Please give your name and zip. No, public meeting, do we have to give address?
No, you have to give your address.
Huh?
Wait, no, this isn't quasi. Zip is fine.
Yeah, your name and zip code for the record. You will each have 3 minutes. We're getting accustomed to our new rules. So,
very good. Thank you. Good evening, Laura Simon with the Downtown Development Authority, which our zip code is 33483. Just wanted to weigh in on this per our board's discussion, and I also provided you all with follow-up from our last meeting. As the DDA was the original parking authority board and still has, as part of our purview, and all the parking really is taking place in the downtown and the DDA district. Our board would recommend that these items still come before the DDA to provide you all with recommendations as a recommending body to commission versus just coming directly to you, as that does really, our stakeholders and constituents are very heavily impacted by this, and it's really important that our board is able to see them and provide you with those recommendations, and to the point of even acting as the public parking management advisory board again. But thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public wishing to address the commission on these 2 items? Seeing none, public comment is closed to the commission. Commissioner Long.
I'm fine with it. I don't care. All good.
Commissioner Burns.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Marker.
I don't have anything further other than we don't have parking right yet. I mean, there's no doubt, and we've got a test that's in place right now, and there's more to come on this, folks, in my opinion.
I'm sure.
I parked downtown the other night. I felt the frustration. So more to come on this. Don't give up on this issue. We got more homework to do on this. At least in my mind, we do. So more to come.
Commissioner Casal.
Thank you. I was just wondering how, with what Ms. Simon said, I understand we couldn't get a quorum, and obviously it speeds up the process to skip the board, because not getting a quorum, then projects were in line and waiting. How would we move forward with letting them know what's going on with respect to downtown projects and the parking stuff? Because we're no longer engaging in the presentations for the DDA at this point.
So, sorry, my team does the same thing for the CRA board and the DDA board, which is that we send a memo of listing the applications that have been submitted and letting them know who the planner and the private contacted are, so that, I mean, the way everything is being sort of forced to streamline because of, the state directions.
Speeding up your application process. Right.
That we have to kind of consolidate everybody weighing in the regular board process to not come up with new comments, which we're not allowed to do. Right. So that, I think that was your question. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to make sure that there is an aspect of concern about the parking in the downtown, and having, like you say, if it's in the CRA area, we want the CRA input, maybe not as much, but if it's in the DDA area, you want the DDA input, especially if you're eliminating this board altogether. So I'm trying to just visualize how will that work. They'll just come to the meetings and speak at the meeting after they've...
Right, so the in lieu fees, this is, PMAB did, I guess, other things besides in lieu, and, that is still working the way it works. You just made changes to a parking strategy in public meetings here. In terms of the in lieu fees, which is one of the things that PMAB weighed in on, like when we send a memo saying there's a new project and it's this, and they're asking for this waiver and this relief, I mean, we would put that, that description, or it would go.
The information will still get there.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Missy's team has parking technology that provides you with data. So, I think that's the information you need. That's the data is what you need.
Right.
Nothing's going to stop the DDA from having their discussions.
Right.
But because of these timelines that we're under, it creates a very difficult process. And we're actually seeing some of these effects where somebody comes up with an additional comment and it re-triggers the timelines, and it's problematic. So we're just trying to streamline things. The DDA will have the information. They're always welcome to come. Ms. Simon was here this evening to give you their comments. But to add another, peg in the process, I think
slows it down.
And you have the information.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I just ask a quick question? Sorry. Have we given a lot of thought to reconstituting the parking board? Because, I ask only because I know there have been issues with it, that's been lingering for a while. But I'm so proud of the work that the other boards do that help this decision-making process up here. And I hate losing the input of a board like that. I recognize they haven't been doing what we had anticipated they would do, but I guess my question is, you've obviously given some thought to it. I'd just like to know what your thinking is.
No, I think that every board that a project has to stop at ends up, especially a board that only meets once a month, adds a month to the review process.
Yeah.
And we now have a mandate that we have to get everybody before the quasi-judicial action decision within 180 days. So stopping off at these advisory, it goes against my grain as a planner not to be embracing these boards.
I know.
But, we're dealing with what it is, what we're dealing with now. I just had to reach out to Ms. Jelen on somebody else who was saying, you didn't hit this deadline, I get to build the house without a permit type of thing. And I'm like, no, here's the printout that we did meet all the deadlines, so no, you don't get to. But, it's a lot of pressure coming from that. And one of the statutes is no new comments.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to say everything's in order and then take it to an advisory board that goes, well, I don't think that's exactly in character, so
right.
We got to let that discussion happen at the decision-making board.
Okay, that's fair, thank you.
Would you like me to make a motion?
Having been an original member of the Parking Management Board, God, I've been on every board, I think. I know. No, we disbanded, well, there's a whole other story with that. But, I'm confident that the staff is still going to be weighing in to the DDA, who I hope is mindful, that's my new term, hope is mindful of the fact that parking is an issue. And I sometimes thought that the Parking Management Board was a little liberal in their approvals, and I do think that we need to be really conscious of not being so liberal, and so what staff has to say about it's going to be very important. Still going to come here for final approval.
Always.
And so it's for that reason that I'm going to support this, because the Parking Management Board, if you didn't get a quorum, people lost another month.
Right.
And it made it very difficult for some applicants. And so I think we should try this. If we don't like it, we can always, as Commissioner Markert says, this parking is a work in progress. And we may be revisiting different facets of it more than once. So if
Motion, want me to make a motion?
Yeah, if you make a
to
motion.
approve ordinance number 22-25.
Second.
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed unanimously. Would you make a motion now for 23-25?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Great. Thank you very much, Anthea, for all the hard work that you did. Thank you, DDA, for weighing in. First readings, 9A. Would you like to please read the ordinance?
Ordinance number 26-25, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Delray Beach, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Delray Beach, Title III, Administration, Chapter 33, Police and Fire Rescue Departments, to implement provisions of the 2024-2027 collective bargaining agreements between the city and the Palm Beach County Police Benevolent Association, amending sections 33.64 contributions and 33.685 deferred retirement option plan, to extend the drop from 5 years to 8 years and require members who participate in the drop in excess of 60 months to contribute 3% to the pension trust fund, providing a conflicts clause, a severability clause, authority to codify, providing an effective date, and further purposes. This is first reading, and just as a reminder, we did ratify the contract with the Police Benevolent Association. Part of that contract requires the city to adopt these changes to the Code of Ordinances. So even though you may not have agreed with the 8-year drop, at the end of the day, it is contractually required, and so.
This is a ministerial function.
Correct.
Directed
Okay.
at me, I get it.
It says Anthea is going to be presenting it, but there's,
It's first reading. We
I don't
don't
know
have to
that you're a
present.
pension person anyway.
I don't think she's going to be
I don't
presenting.
do, but-
And it's first reading.
Yeah, motion to approve ordinance number 26-25.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is
Thank you.
adopted unanimously. Unanimously. Comments and inquiries on non-agenda items, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple items, fairly brief.
Oh, sure.
First, okay,
Clean out myself.
You can try.
thank you. So in any event, I'll give it a go. Briefly, there's been some rather erroneous commentary over the last couple of meetings relative to deficit position with respect to the annual budget. It's important to clarify for the public that municipalities in the state of Florida, as well as throughout the country, are legally obligated to offer a balanced budget position every fiscal year. So I'd like to offer that clarification, and much of this is a function of a little constructive feedback I received from a couple of you here on the dais about doing what we can to adequately respond to resident questions, concerns, thus the presentation earlier today with respect to public safety, as well as what I've just shared regarding the balanced budget position. That's been accomplished as of September 15th of 2025, as we are now in the midst of the fiscal year 2025-2026. So all is kosher in that regard. Likewise, for interested parties who've expressed interest in working or collaborating with the City of Delray Beach, should they do accept the invitation to reach out to Commission to discuss different opportunities to partner or engage with the City of Delray Beach with regards to any significant projects, there does exist a public-private partnership submission policy, and should we be given the opportunity to showcase what that looks like, that will be the go-to in that regard. So should you all have an inquiry to the commission, copy the city manager, we'll offer leadership and guidance to showcase what that path might look like, and we'll be able to go from there, just for clarity on both fronts. Finally, in response to some interest regarding the freebie routing structure, So working closely with the Department of Public Works, Freebie has been able to share with the city of Delray Beach that at no additional cost, they will be able to expand their routing in the Palm Trail neighborhood. That specifically came up a couple city commission meetings ago, and we were able to have that discussion with leadership of the Freebie organization. So for that reason, the city commission is at liberty to offer consensus to proceed with that particular consideration, again, without any additional cost to the city, or if there are other parameters that may wish to be considered, we'll be happy to have that dialogue as a follow-up as well.
Yeah, that was one of the things I brought up about Palm Trail. But since then, to talk about new information, there is also, when you go up Federal Highway, you know, that they will go up Palm Trail into the estuary, but they won't go down North Lake or South Lake or something, and it's not really that much of a push. So I'd like to consider that portion of the city also, you know, for example, where Sandy's is, they won't go down that road, but they'll go up the road and they'll go behind it, but they won't go up that road. So it seems to me that expanding their coverage area to be including that portion of the city as well, considering they are covering areas farther.
They don't go on federal though. That could be because
No, they do. No, I see them all.
the freebie goes on federal.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh,
Oh
is
yeah.
that-
Oh yeah. No, I see them all the time. They drive by. You have to go out to Federal to pick it up,
Right.
unless you live in the estuary, and then they'll go down the back roads and go into the thing. So estuary had a good lobbyist, I guess, at the time. So on behalf of all those other people who didn't, I would like to raise that as a possibility to try to get that area also covered in the freebie, and it shouldn't really be much of a stretch for them.
Okay, so in that regard, Mr. Mayor, I would require some level of consensus. We'll be happy to engage and follow up with you.
That's fine. I mean,
Just would you get the cost and get it back?
yeah,
to
just
us.
get. I mean, I
The
don't know.
problem,
It shouldn't.
Mayor, once you start going like, okay, we'll go into the Palm Trail, then okay, we'll go to the
Oh,
estuary.
no, I'm not.
Everybody wants it.
No,
in
they're
the
already in the
city.
estuary, but they won't go to the two roads that are right next to it.
Right.
It's just, it's really strange. It's really odd
That
when
is
you look at the
strange.
map.
Can't tell Germantown
Road
So
where we're
I don't know why.
I want
So
it to pick me
just
up
if you
at
could
my
look at that, I think we should go ahead and say yes today to the Palm Trail. But I would encourage that we also look at that part of the city as well, because it really is, I'm telling you, they're driving by it anyway.
Do you have formal consensus, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
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 Okay, good.
Thank
We have
you.
consensus for both. Great. So we can let the Palm Trail people know, because they'll be excited about that, so that's good.
Thank you.
Anyway, you've finished?
I yield at this time.
To the city attorney.
I believe I've spoken to all of you. I would like permission to initiate litigation. It's regarding subrogation claims by a former health provider, United Healthcare. I think I've
It's on my list to ask you. Go
You want
ahead.
to do it? So I'm seeking, I've spoken to you individually. I don't really want to say too much publicly about it. There are some sensitivities involved, but I am seeking that authorization to initiate the lawsuit. It's a significant amount of money, as you all know, and I think it's the right thing to do, because I think that actions were taken not by any city employee, not by anybody in the city, but by an independent company without authorization or permission from the city. And unfortunately, I've attempted to obtain information to really make a legitimate decision as to what happened, and I'm being completely ignored. And so I feel like this is the only path that I can take at this point. I reached out to some of my colleagues to get some suggestions on what to do. They've given me some suggestions, but I think that based on the amount of money that's at stake and the fact that it's taxpayer money, I think it's a legitimate reason for us to pursue these claims.
Well, I'm agreeing. I mean, I'm in favor. As Glenn Close said, I don't want to be
You've all
ignored.
been very
So, I mean,
supportive. I just wanted to do it on the record so that it's clear.
good. Okay, you have, I think all of us, you've got
Yes.
consensus to go forward with
Thank
that.
you.
That's fine.
And that's all I have. Good night.
Okay. To the commission, I'm going to go first because I always go last and I always end up trying to do anything. So anyway, I actually wanted to ask the auditor a quick question regarding the audit that she is doing with respect to the Old School Square, just the timing of it, because I got your email about some of the delays, and I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, was there anything we were asking for that wasn't in the ordinary course, that should have been, records that should have been kept in the ordinary course of business type thing? So I'm not just curious where we are on that process. I know you said you're in the process of writing it, but it was going to be September, then it was going to be middle of October, we're now into November, and I'm just trying to figure out Are we asking for things that aren't normally kept in the ordinary course of business? What are we doing?
All right, first of all, let me say good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and of course the public. As I mentioned in my email, the audit has been drafted. We're just going over a few outstanding items. These are all documents that are available in the regular course of business, and we're just following up on some exceptions.
Okay.
And like I said,
So you anticipate the report being done
next week?
Okay, that's fine. I was going to say before Christmas, so good. I'm just, that's the way we go.
It will be done next week.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. While you're up there, does anyone else have any question for the auditor while she's standing there? So she doesn't have to
I
drive?
had an item on my list with respect. I don't think I need her though. No, that's okay. Thank you.
You're excused. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Good. Secondly, the visions update. I sent everyone an email about, in consultation with the facilitator, who's really how she wanted how the thing to go, and then she sent an agenda today, which I forwarded to Nohemi and you all, because Nohemi's supposed to be sending that copy of that agenda to all of the members of the steering committee that we so-called appoint. And then we talked about, and you all got the email about this next selection after we get through when the questions are all figured out as to what they're going to be, that each of the commissioners is going to choose. I recommended 25, so that we have a room of like 150 people.
Could I ask a
125 of them.
question, Mayor? I didn't get the agenda attached. I just saw your email, but in your email it implied that the nonprofit partners are not going to be part of the beginning process.
They're going to be part. They're not part.
They're invited for Friday.
Well, no, they're not for profits are not part of the visioning process. They can, they're going to be.
We all agreed up here that
No,
we
I
wanted
went
them
through the
to.
meeting twice. No, we didn't. You said it, and then I
And
answered
that
it.
there was a consensus.
No, there was not.
I believe there was.
You're welcome to
Three
check
people
with the
shook
city
their
attorney.
heads.
You're welcome to check with the city clerk. We went through this exhaustively.
Was there not a consensus? Because I remember specifically
I know
getting
you remember
a consensus.
But I'm being very honest here. I went through it meticulously.
So we're not having our city
I didn't say-
nonprofits partnering.
First
I'm
of all,
just curious.
not for profits. This is a
Wait, it's not about. Just forgive me for one moment. I'm trying to understand. Did we or did we not get a consensus on that? Because if we got a consensus, then
You didn't have a consensus.
city
End of
attorney
story.
are you
No,
saying
no.
that's the case?
I think, like I said, I think you asked, Mr. Moore agreed with you. The mayor said the nonprofits will be there at some point.
No, that was about
And
the
then-
employees.
No, it was not. You're welcome to go
Because
back.
there were
I
four
don't- I
different
don't-
conversations.
I'm not going to argue. They're
Okay,
not-
let's then just
I'm-
hash it out with this right now
No,
and
we're
get
not.
a consensus.
I'm the chair. We
Do
decided
we
what we're going to
want
do.
The staff,
I'm not having
the
this
staff
hijacked.
is not involved.
Look,
You
not-for-profits
took the
are
staff out
important
from
to the
our
city.
first discussion
This
to our
is a resident-driven process.
understand,
I
but
keep saying
staff
it's
is
a resident-driven
important.
process. The needs of nonprofits are decidedly different than the needs of
We
your
have
residents.
over 100 nonprofits in our city that serve our residents. They
They're
are
great,
important.
and many of the nonprofits, they're all valuable, but I will tell you that
You're
the
not
needs of your
treating them that
nonprofits
way
are
right
different.
now.
I don't want to have this argument. We don't have consensus. I'm moving forward. So I've sent you all the agenda, and you're welcome to go back
Why
and
do
see
we
it.
spend the money? Why don't you just run it and we do it like
Well, no,
with our staff?
We're moving on.
No, wait.
Commissioner,
I'm asking you, why are we spending
I got the-
$82,000
these are my comments.
of taxpayer
Please
money
don't make
on
me
this?
really out of order.
You could run it.
Please don't make me really out of order. So
Thank you for engaging
I'm not
in that
running it. It's
thoughtful
being run by.
discussion.
I'm chairing it because it's going to be run. It's a citizen-driven thing, and that's the way visions work. We've done it 3 times in the past, and they've been very successful. We've created a great city because we've had visioning process. Our city today didn't just magically appear. There is a process. I'm following the exact same formula that they've done previously, which have been, without a doubt, extremely
And if you
successful.
look at other visionaries,
Anyway,
they include staff and
water billing
nonprofits.
issues. Thank you. Water billing issues. I've had 2 calls on this recently. People have been trying to set up auto pay for their water bills. We have a system in our system which requires that the person setting up auto pay gives the city a copy of their driver's license and all this other kind of stuff, which they're saying, essentially information that, if breached, causes compromise. Since we have been meticulous in terms of saying you don't have to give your address to the thing, it seems to me that we ought to make the process of people who want to auto pay easier. So I'd like the city attorney to look as to whether or not we need to require the driver's license. And I don't even want to get into, if you try to, there was a situation where there was an estate where the person died, the wife was trying to get the property in her name, and they end up having to bring in all these court documents just to be able to pay their water bill. Seems to me it ought to be a little more user-friendly, and we ought to figure out a way to make it easier for people to pay their bills than, I'm hearing moaning.
That was Tammy Taxpayer right there.
There you go. I'll probably come up with the next meeting. There we go. So anyway, if I try to pay, Mr. Long's out of town, and he says, could you pay my bill? They won't let me pay his bill.
Which is a problem.
No, it's odd, and you've asked me twice, and I'm not doing it. But but it's just we need to create a better system for people to do auto pay, and if they want to transfer their accounts between spouses, after one dies, you don't have to go through the whole process of having they had to bring in the letters of administration showing that the surviving spouse was authorized because the property was in their husband's name, and they were, the whole thing's ridiculous. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. This was brought up to me today by someone from the Historic Preservation Trust about the beautification of Atlantic, and I remarked that the DDA had said in their meeting about having a joint meeting with the commission regarding the beautification of Atlantic Avenue, and I want to invite those two boards to get together because there seems to be turf, like it's your responsibility. We need to determine whose responsibility certain things are, because Atlantic is looking tired, and everyone's going to say no, it's not, but yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And I'd like to schedule that meeting between the DDA board and this board as soon as practicable. I'm not saying next week, but this is important. We're coming into season. I think it's very important that we focus on the Atlantic Avenue beautification.
We should do it next week. You're right.
I'm available.
Into season. Let's do it next week.
Wait, we don't have a meeting next.
It's Veterans Day.
No, we have Veterans Day next week, which is why they made me read the Veterans Day thing.
Yes, thank you.
No, we can't do it next week because Angela
schedule.
doesn't believe in it. I'm kidding. I'm in one of those things. Too much coffee. I'm telling you, this diet's killing me. It's all this coffee. I just would like to get an update on SB 180. For example, we are, the conservation district has been floating around out there. We also have, frog alleys floating around out there. We have people that wanting to do there's portions of the cemetery that would like to be historic, which makes sense to me because there is a historic portion of the cemetery. We've talked about maybe some of the golf course portions could be. I understand that we don't want to do it right while they're doing construction because you don't want to do anything that could affect your bond, which is what I was told. But to get on the radar that at some point when that golf course is finished, to do something to ensure that it's always going to stay a golf course, to take the temptation away, so to speak.
I can put that on for the next meeting. They did just file, I think they're in the process of.
Because I met with you regarding Veterans Park, which I'm going to get to, because they're pretty creative. They're the Preservation Trust people, particularly Sandy Zeller and Ann Whitehead have come up with Price Patton have come up with a very interesting way to approach the recreational portion, which I think could suit everybody's, meet everybody's what everybody wants, to ensure that the recreation is going to stay there, but not they won't be responsible for it, but the park would be designated as historic to ensure that it always stays. So 100 years from now, they're going to thank this commission for making sure that that's still a park, and the building would have to do whatever. It's a historic building they view, and there's things we need to do with it, and they acknowledge that they need to do a lot with the interior. So I just want to keep that on the radar.
Could I ask you, Mayor, wouldn't we assume that that would be okay to move forward with because it's our property versus private property? I mean, I think the SB 180, our concerns with litigation involve the private property only. Our
No,
own
I
property,
threw
we
it,
can do
I'm
whatever we
conflating a
want.
bunch of issues here. I got into
Oh, okay.
historic, but I'm just saying, because we have, but I'm going to go back and ask you about the status of SB 180, because I've had some questions on when are we doing the conservation district, and I keep saying, well,
Yeah, that's,
I think there's a willingness to try to do that, but what we need to understand what.
I can put it on the 18th.
Huh?
I'll put it on the 18th for a discussion item.
Yeah, because, I mean, it really is an important issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the lawsuit has started, right? We're in process, and
I received a copy of the complaint to review, and the idea was it was either going to be filed last week or maybe this week.
Okay.
So it'll give us something to talk about.
okay. There was another accident at the corner of Northeast First Street and northbound Federal Highway again the other night. There was one 5 days ago where a car was flipped because somebody tried to take a left-hand turn and they flipped it in front of the smoke shop there. Major Ferreira was there at the scene. I saw him at the scene. So I know when Bill Bathurst was sitting in that chair, he made a big effort to try to see if we could get a traffic light there. I don't know if that's the solution, but something needs to be done with that interchange because we've had deaths there. We've had, it's been a serious issue. So something needs to be done to slow the traffic down at that location. So I understand there's construction going on, and I understand, the ingress-egress issues, but at some point, someone needs to look at maybe getting the county to consider, because it's their road, doing some kind of a traffic calming thing at the very least, but certainly maybe a traffic signal.
I would argue all down Federal. I pull out by / Fitness, and you're taking that left turn.
Oh, yeah, on the southbound, yes, I know. I know.
Frightening.
I know.
So.
But it just seems to
feel
be
like we
that
need traffic
it just seems to
calming
be
on all
First
of it.
Street. It seems to be First Street and North Federal.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's a really dangerous interchange. And so we really, I think the time has come where we have to look at something there. And I'll give kudos to Bill Bathurst. That was his deal 5 years ago. I'm not going to comment. I'm going to write back to the person with respect to they went into their house, but when a police response. But once somebody's in their house, there's no threat of immediate bodily harm. So while I understand he felt threatened, he was in his house. So police response when you're already locked up safely in your house should be different than if you're standing out on the street and you're being accosted. So I think that needs to be looked at. And it was raised again here about the feral cats. It's not just in Monterey's neighborhood. It's everywhere. So I don't know what we need to do about addressing the feral cat issue, because
We need to be we eliminated the financing for the TNVR
I know we did.
program.
I know. And
Unless you're trapping, neutering them, you're never going to.
Well, how do we? That's a good thing. How do we count? Can we work with the county to maybe get a program
The problem
together?
is, here's the problem. There are cities, you have to decide if you want to commit to it or not. If you don't, you just have to say, don't do it. But you have to feed them. You can't trap them, neuter them, vaccinate them, and then stick them on the street to starve. There has to be, there are cities that do it. I don't disagree. They don't want it in people's yards.
I'm just raising the issue because
they don't want it on the street.
This is. I'm telling you, it's not just.
Listen, and I totally agree with them.
It's not just Monterey's neighborhood. Where I am,
if
over where I am,
we
there's
want
a
to
problem with
control
feral
that
cats.
from happening, then we probably need to start looking at potentially a
And all of these
program.
undeveloped alleys are, I'm telling you,
And
are
they're
breeding grounds
just
for these
procreating.
for these cats, and they do have
Yeah.
a tendency to procreate. So
Exactly. So
there's lots of little
I'm
cats.
totally into talking about that.
Can I just say one thing about that I think we should consider at some point? When we lived out at the Meisner Country Club, which we did for a long time, we had 2 litters of feral cats that happened out on the golf course. And I called Palm Beach Wildlife because I didn't know what to do. And their response is, oh, we'll be right out, but we're going to euthanize those kittens in about 5 minutes. And that's what they do. And that's what makes it so darn hard. Like, I told my wife and my daughter that, and they like burst into tears and ran to
killing Bambi.
They ran to the pet store and bought bottles of milk, and we inherited 20 of these cats. We found homes for them all, but that's the horrible decision that you have to make here. Like, are we up for euthanizing these little kittens? And I don't know that there's a simple answer here. I was just saying to Rob a second ago, though, I think we can appeal to the county, but I don't know that they have the resources either, guys. I mean,
They don't, and that's why there are a ton of nonprofits
know.
doing it. It's a bigger discussion we have to have.
I don't know that this one. I mean,
I'm just saying that it's raised here, but it's been raised. People have written to me before about this, so.
It's the trash that's left behind
That's the issue.
and
You're right,
the
it is.
issues that the trash causes.
You're right.
And the smell. I can't sunbathe. It's like cat urine. It's the smell.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we.
Anyway,
can
I am finished. I am
Thank you, Mayor.
finished my comments, I think. So, I got notes here, but I'm not going to go through them. So anyway. Commissioner Casal.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Moore, because you have been addressing some of the things that are coming up at the lectern that have been concerning comments, and I appreciate you doing that. Gina, I think you sent us an email that you're celebrating 1 year of success. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
That's on my list.
Do Good Delray. I just want to give a shout out to Stephanie, Sarah, Carolina, Lynn, Judy, and Olivia. I went to a lot of those events and they were really fun, and I didn't realize how many nonprofits we have and the for-profits that are supporting them and giving them exposure and helping them raise funds. Those events were great, and that's what makes our city unique. South Tech, we toured South Tech. I am excited about the possibility of South Tech coming to Delray Beach. I was very impressed with their programming, very impressed with the students, and at this point, I think anything we can do to improve our child's education would be amazing, and I'm excited about that possibility. I want to say, Mr. Orris, and to everyone in staff, especially the fire department, thank you so much for welcoming the Sister City kids the way you did. I hosted one, and they could not have been more excited about the way they were greeted in our lobby and in the city, and I know, Mr. Orris, you did that. And the firemen came out in their full uniform and took photos. It was the most exciting thing for them. They were thrilled. And I was wondering if we could get the Sister City, maybe Tony, to come, and Nancy, to do a little presentation. I did not even really know about the Sister City program, I'm embarrassed to say, as a commissioner. And it would be really great if some of our residents could see what that program is and what we do, because it's quite amazing.
I think that's a very good suggestion.
Thank
I
you.
think
So,
we
Mr.
should
Moore, if you could
have a presentation, one of our meetings where they slideshow and take a few minutes
Yeah.
to show everyone.
and just explain a little bit about it, its history, how, and then what hosting opportunities,
And
which
actually,
was great fun.
I would recommend, in addition to Pastor Tony Durant, we would also include Dr. Daphne Anton.
Oh, absolutely,
who's
Daphne.
the energy at the board member, so we will
Miss
make arrangements.
And
upcoming
Nancy,
meeting.
there's a whole group. A brilliant individual had a great idea about running with the chief down Atlantic Avenue. And the chief said he was all in if we could get approval. Now, I realize we'd have to do it at the crack of dawn, but the runs are amazing, and we could make it a whole citywide run with the chief.
Shut it down for 5 minutes.
Everybody can come. All of the property owners, all of the staff. Mayor, you can come in a golf cart. But Mr. Moore, fellow commissioners and mayor, wouldn't it be super fun to shut down Atlantic and have the chief run down Atlantic? After he's done all the parks.
All by himself?
No, he can. No.
I think we should have both chiefs doing that.
He sets the pace. We'll be behind him.
Okay,
We'll be
maybe
behind him.
I'm a fairly capable.
Maybe you and I will be in the golf cart. We'll
You'll
watch
be
that.
driving the mayor.
I'm a fairly capable and accomplished 400-meter dash guy.
That's a good idea. We should do that.
Okay, so is that,
I'm
can
a
we get a
golf cart kinda
consensus to do that? I know it's a little bit, see, Lynn's giving a consensus on that.
She's going to be in the golf cart with me.
Could we get a consensus? It would be super fun, and we can do it after he does his last park.
If we can
he
make it a
wants
quarter-mile stretch, I'll knock it out quick.
Don't we have to go through CTAC?
No, it has to be a mile. It has to be
We
a
have to
mile.
go through CTAC to do that.
No,
so.
we would have to go through CTAC, but it would be a city event, community engagement.
Yeah, we have some pull.
Hey,
We
can
do.
probably get it
Let's
done.
do it.
I like it, actually.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I
We're
think,
just
is
going to
that
have
a
to go
yes?
get one
Do
of
we
those
have three?
auxiliary with the 6 or 8
three
people, because I
hands?
think my cart's going to be
There's two, there's three. There you go, Chief. Get ready
If we
for
make
your
it a
big run.
5K, a mile's barely worth it.
Okay,
I can't watch that long.
I'm not getting up for a mile. Let's do a 5K. Let's
Well,
do
you're
a real
healthy.
thing.
it's 1 mile. It's 1
1
mile.
mile is fine.
You can ride your
You could
bike.
do
You
it.
like your bike.
I'll
I
just
can
run
do
it
that.
3 times. It's fine.
Okay, so at our last meeting, we were appointing to the police advisory board. Rabbi Moss sat here all night. He's the chaplain for our police department. He was hoping to get seated. He didn't. And I'm just wondering, I know this is an exception of sorts, but I'm hoping not really. As the chaplain, is there a reason why he can't sit on the advisory board? Of course, our city attorney says he has to be conscientious about his contribution. His input can't be anything personal, and we understand that. But I think as someone who's out working in the community with the police, he should be sitting on that advisory board. So we can make him in a seat similar to the one you have on the DDA.
Well, do we have a chaplain for that advisory? Do we need a chaplain? I'm all
It's not for the
I'm all
advisory board,
I like Rabbi Moss very much, and I think he's been very
He's working
great
for the
part
city,
in the
and he
community,
wants
yeah.
to serve
You can
on
add
that
an
board.
additional member, or you can
There
make
we
him an
go.
ex officio member. He wouldn't have voting rights, but he could participate.
Do they even vote?
I don't know. Do we? Do you vote on things? You're a former member or current member, right?
Yes, they do.
We do.
So, however you, Lynn, think it can work into how we
I mean,
can.
the fastest way would be for you to say he can be an ex officio member.
Okay.
He'll participate, and then if you want me to make a change to the code to add an additional member, that's fine.
Can we do that?
5? Is it 5?
It was reduced.
It
from
used to be
7 to
13, and we
Right,
were
it was
just adding-
reduced.
Yeah.
It used to be 7, right?
Oh no, it was. I think it was more than
10.
that.
It was like-
It was
Why did we
like-
reduce it to
Something like
5?
Couldn't get
13.
consensus.
Because it was hard to get a quorum.
Right.
So it was
Or quorum,
reduced.
I meant, yeah.
So, I mean, because he does serve our community, it would make
Do we have
sense
an
that he sits
alternate
on there.
system?
No.
Well, would we consider, some boards have alternates so that if John can't get there, Mary's the alternate, she attends as a voting person.
However, we can work it out. If we could work it out, that would
Whatever
be
you wanna do.
a
No, I like
nice
to
thing.
expand participation. I mean,
yeah.
if we can do that, I think,
But if no one's out, then he can't participate, right?
no,
Okay,
then he
so-
but he can sit there as an alternate.
Sure. Well,
Alternates can still,
they can participate.
They
but
can't vote.
they can't vote.
So you
but
can,
they still-
that's an idea. You can make him an alternate.
Yeah, I'd be on board with the ex officio idea. Like, we literally just voted a year ago to trim this down
I
to
know you
5
did.
people because we couldn't get a quorum and it was jamming up certain things.
He sat here for 6 hours to be, put on
Okay.
the board. He'll go to the meetings.
That's great, perfect, yeah. Then I think we're good.
Yeah,
That's
so-
my
well,
suggestion.
good
So which
suggestion.
one is it?
I think ex officio makes
Yeah,
more
make it
sense.
ex
I
officio.
would, but we don't want to give him voting power. I mean,
We can't add 1 seat because then you have
Right,
tie
then you haven't
votes.
even-
You got to add 2, and then it's just like we just reduced this like a
All
year
right,
ago.
whatever,
Like,
just
why
get 'em
go
on
the
there.
other way?
I'm saying either make them ex officio or let's discuss the concept of having alternates, which could actually work for some of our other boards as well.
The ex officio thing.
perfect,
I'm
done.
gonna go home. Excuse me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna make,
The
I'm
natives
just
are
gonna
getting
draft a
restless.
resolution for the next meeting. It'll be on consent.
Perfect,
Make
thank
him
you.
an ex officio, so it's somewhat formal.
Excellent, appreciate that. And then I would like if we could all think about creating an audit committee. I was speaking to our auditor about this. It is part of the best practices when we're in the hiring process. We don't have to bring her up, just maybe individually at your next meeting. If you speak to her about that, then we could circle back, city
Something like the
attorney.
Financial review board like they used to have?
Yeah,
Christina
it's-
Moore? I mean,
it-
I thought that was a great board. the
Right.
Financial Review Board,
I would like to
Christina Morrison
form that.
used
I
to
already have ideas of who I'd put on it,
Yeah, I
so,
think that's a good idea.
yeah. So would I just say yes now on that, or do you want to consider
Can we
it?
explore putting together like that?
Auditing
Go back
committee.
and look at the Financial Review Board, which is an audit kind of board.
Right.
Which would assist the auditor in looking at certain things, at the auditor's direction, look at this, look at this, look at this, makes her job easier and
Right.
gets more citizen engagement, which I would think is a good idea.
I love
I'll
it.
speak with
Thank
Elena
you.
about it, and then we'll bring it back
Yeah,
as a
good idea.
discussion item, and then you can tell us how you.
Thank
wanna
you.
do it.
I would appreciate
More
that.
leverage.
2 more things. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Commission information letter of Friday, the 31st, talked about nonprofit funding expiring in 2026 and having a workshop January 13.
Yes, ma'am.
When are you saying the funding is expiring? We just budgeted it.
One thing, 2 things.
We're just updating the contract structure. So the funding is in place. We are simply recommending, they expire in 2026, so they're not yet expired per se, but they will be.
The city attorney's shaking her head no. No.
No, I mean, we have funding agreements.
We have
I
funding
didn't see it.
agreements.
I don't. We have funding agreements and.
Why are we
they'll
having a
be-
workshop on that, is I guess what I'm asking you. We've budgeted the money for them. I don't know why we're gonna have an hour-long workshop to talk about the money we've already budgeted in the current year. That makes no sense.
I mean, if you want changes to the funding agreements, we can discuss it and we can just, when they're due, because right now.
I'm not
they would
looking for
have to-
changes. I'm wondering why we're having a workshop meeting in January on an item that we've already budgeted on and we already agreed to give them the money. It doesn't make sense. It's not like we're talking pre-budget stuff in maybe April or May. Why are we why are we having a workshop? What's the purpose of the workshop is what I'm trying to figure out.
Because in 2026, there'll be some pending expirations and some other adjustments. A cogent example is the fact that the former A-guide structure, there's some disconnect in that regard, so we need
already
to
did
address
that, didn't we transition that already? We did it this year. So we've already done that, and it starts in October. Why are you having a workshop in January on it?
Because there's the administrative components, I like to have the commission dialogue with us in terms of how we proceed in the aftermath of 2026 and in the aftermath
So
of the current fiscal
this
year.
is moving into the next budget season. You're
Yes,
starting
ma'am.
in January to talk about it.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And the last thing is, I was talking with Mr. Rosen about Old School Square, and he said something that was true. He said, "You've given us the car keys, but you're not giving us gas." Through the years, more money has been put into that place. Now, I'm not looking for money or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, speaking the DDA, from my takeaway from him is, we need to start talking about what the future plan is for Old School Square campus. I don't think they want to stay on and continue. I don't want to speak for the DDA, Laura, or anybody, but my takeaway from my conversation with him is, if we are not fully supportive and if we are not helping fund and we want all this great quality entertainment and the like, we need to either figure out if we're funding it or find somebody to do it. And I think we need to have a serious conversation in the very near future, because I sat here when we had no one at Old School Square, and you don't want to do that again. And I know you have some person who says they can run it, or I don't know what's going on.
I think
just-
that I've heard Mr. Rosen say it in public that he thinks there needs to be some kind of a transition, but we need to start thinking about a transition plan.
Well,
And-
we either need to say
and
we're
I understand
wholeheartedly
we have a
supporting you and
meeting scheduled in
financing you, or
January.
we're transitioning.
Yes, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like
Thank
to
you.
support the observations as having. I'd like to support some of the observations having been raised by Commissioner Casal in that regard. So, I talked to all of you all individually about my commitment to meet with DDA leadership on a monthly basis. We began that practice just yesterday. It's the very first meeting of the month. Ms. Simon, myself, along with Assistant City Manager Jeff Ford, is our meeting. And one of the integral discussions was exactly that. So over the next couple months, we'll be engaged with one another to offer what a path forward may look like in that regard, because as the Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority, she's supportive of those sentiments coming from the board so that we can offer a smooth transition at some point. So likewise, I anticipate being in position to offer recommendations in terms of a formal selection process relative to an external partner to assist in this regard, while the Downtown Development Authority is continuing to work with the City of Delray Beach in this regard. So recommendations will soon enough be forthcoming in terms of what that looks like. So I've already began that process, speaking closely with Laura Simon about it just yesterday afternoon in my office.
Right.
So please be on standby. More to come in the coming months as we get to that place, and I think it will be a productive endeavor. So again, Ms. Simon, thank you for that, and we look forward to a collaboration that makes sense for all.
Okay, thank you.
Halloween.
Thank you very much.
Is it-
That concludes my comments. Thank you.
And Ms. Burns, would you like to?
Sure. Just along those lines, I also wanted to say congratulations to Gina and all involved in your year of activating the Creative Arts School. Kudos to you. And also on the lines of what you just said, Mr. Moore and Commissioner Cassell, I concerned also about activating the space over at at Old School Square. I was thinking that we should issue some formal solicitation or create an advisory board as well that could come back and give and make recommendations to the commission on activating that space. I know that we've had, I think, 2 weeks in a row, 2 meetings in a row, people coming to say, and I'm assuming they are alluding to that space for income for the revenue for the city. So looking forward to whatever you're working on, and also for us to consider an advisory board that could come back and give the commission suggestions. Secondly, Chef Raheem came. I invited him and his partner. I went and had some of the samples. Excellent. I'm not a vegan, however,
Is it a vegan place?
Yes, yes. I found some.
I'm just scratching. I know. I mean, I like.
They have cheeseburgers.
The
You'll be
name
good.
of it is True Vegan. True Vegan.
True vegan. I didn't know it. I was trying to figure out what I was trying to. True vegan.
True Vegan.
True vegan.
It's vegan.
Listen, my daughter will love it.
Not fake vegan, but delicious. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Look, I like vegan.
Excellent, excellent. And also, someone mentioned Jamaica. Prayers to Jamaica and the efforts for. I had a nephew that went over for his 50th birthday. He was able to get back home today. He's been over there stranded for 8 days, past his days, but he landed in Miami today and sent a message to everybody that he was back safely. So prayers to all the. I know there are other people that have family members that are still trying to make it back home. So prayers to Jamaica and for the efforts, and any efforts that anyone has, I support it, and get in contact with me for whoever is supporting. I may have some things to donate. And I think that, the parking. I know that parking is a pilot program, and I know that we have not come to the end of that program, but with all the calls and the letters, we have to do something else.
Clarity presentation next meeting,
Okay.
November 18th, as committed during the last
Gotta
meeting.
make some changes. Okay. All right. That is all I have.
I'll be quick. Let's see what time it is. I want to comment first to the ladies that came up to the lectern during public comment, and we're talking about economic development and business attraction for Delray. That's a personal hot button for me. I love that. Comes out of my corporate wheelhouse. And to those ladies, if you're listening, I want to meet with you, and I will not duck a meeting with you. I'm excited to meet with you. I will say some of what I heard in the presentations, I think we've got some of that available today through the CRA. So I would very much like to meet with you, with the three ladies that commented. Just call the city mayor's office, and Nohemi will track me down, no problem. Second thing, real quick, we did take a tour of South Tech, the campus, last week, and that was great. I mean, talk about getting a modern day education. I mean, there's culinary classes there. There's automotive classes there. I mean, in addition to your normal schoolwork and classwork, you really can pick up some damn great skills that are different than we traditionally offer. And it was very eye-opening for me, seeing what's possible today. So I thought that was, if you haven't been there, like, the people that run the place are great. And the campus itself is really, really great, and I was really uplifted seeing that. And then last thing, we were talking about tackling the old school square campus issue. I'm all for that. I think it's a big issue. We have to figure out what our best path forward is on that, and I think that's going to require us to come up with alternatives. That's where we do it in the corporate world. We come up with the alternatives that we think are doable for the city and for the campus itself. I think we need to do that sooner rather than later. This is another big chunky monkey project that this commission's going to be tackling.
And I've said it.
It's a big one. What's that?
The path forward
Yeah.
will be assembling considerations that will be forthcoming.
It's
New
a
year.
big one, but rightfully so. We got to get on this. It's time, and the residents are demanding it, and I think we need to jump on it with both of our feet quick and get going on it.
Two quick follow-ups. I do think that if parking on Veterans Day, if people want to go to the old school square, that we should make our garage available for anyone. I don't think we should be charged. First of all, I think it'd be a slow day to start with. And I think that if people would like to come. It's a busy day?
Formal consensus, ladies and gentlemen?
Huh? Yeah, I know, but up till noon. I mean, give it to them, you know, to noon. It's fine.
Put that gavel down.
Okay,
I haven't spoken.
the one.
Huh?
Put that gavel down. I haven't spoken yet.
Sorry.
Wait a minute, you didn't speak?
He did not.
Way better without you.
And
gosh.
do we have consensus relative to Veterans Day, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen?
sorry, public. Mr. Lowe, and the second thing is, I'm going to let Rob finish. The second thing is, I do think, I mean, the South Tech tour was great. I think that a suggestion was made that we should visit some of the other schools. I think that maybe
too.
we should. I think we should go to Pine Grove. I think we should go to Village Academy. I think we should go to Orchard View. I think that we should see some of these other schools, because we're talking about helping education. I think having a visual, experience with the kids there and interacting can only
Good thing.
help us with our understanding of maybe what they need. So anyway, so Mr. Long.
Can I just one quick follow-up?
Oh, you
comment?
said two things.
I
Then it was
love
three.
I love the free parking on Veterans Day. I'm looking at Gina. Can we publicize that? That would be a really great thing if we could let the world know.
Huh?
Where? All day, everywhere?
No.
That's where I was
Before
going.
12, the Veterans Day thing. Oh, you want it all day? No. Okay. So that they can come to our Veterans Day ceremony at Old School Square. It's from 9 to 11. They'll be done by 11.
All right, I'm looking at Gina. I just
That's
want to make
12.
sure that the residents know we're doing this, because parking's been a thorn,
Consensus.
and this would be a nice
Okay,
gesture.
Can we get consensus on having the park garage open so people can go to our Veterans Day thing?
Is it just during the hours?
During
of
the
the
yes, right, because otherwise we need
Yes,
revenue on the holiday.
yes, for me.
How about until noon, because
They can take
people will
time
need to
not
get
be
out.
at work, they can pay for it.
Yep. Until noon, I would recommend. It ends at 11. People will be able to leave, take their time.
Or noon. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. Anyway, it was a good suggestion. I'd like to get people to go to the thing. So, anyway, that's it. Now, Mr. Long.
All right, I will try to sprint through this. First of all, I'd like to echo Commissioner Cassell's comments about the chamber. We're extremely fortunate to have such a dynamic, active chamber. I've had the occasion recently to interact with the Florida Chamber a bit, and I will say that our chamber here in Delray Beach has a really great reputation, and Stephanie Immelman has a great reputation statewide, and so we're extremely lucky to have a chamber like this here. I just wanted to put that on the record. Also wanted to congratulate our police chief for completing the New York Marathon, talking about running. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. So I have a quick comment here. I'd like to thank this commission, especially you, Mayor, for appointing me to serve as Delray Beach's representative on the governing board for the Palm Beach Transportation Planning Agency, which we recently renamed to the Metropolitan Planning Organization, by the way. So it's called the MPO now, not the TPA anymore. Big news. It has been a true privilege to represent our city on such an important front for the last several years. Since the board isn't meeting in November and my resignation is effective in early December, last Thursday's MPO meeting was my last meeting, and thus my tenure ends my tenure with this organization. So back when I was appointed, and I sort of pitched my case, I promised to use my experience and relationships to bring meaningful transportation resources back to Delray Beach. And I do believe, with the support of this commission, in many cases, I've been able to fulfill that promise. And I just wanted to quickly list a couple things that we've been able to do in our partnership with the MPO over the last several years. One of which was the Palm Trail Walk Audit and Safety Grant. After our walk audit with the MPO and FDOT and some members of the Palm Trail HOA along Northeast First Avenue to Swinton, we pushed for a safety grant with the support of this commission, and then staff applied for it and did all the legwork. We were ultimately approved for a $1.5 million project in 2029 that will fund much needed sidewalk, intersection, and pedestrian safety improvements along that corridor. That's a big win. The Barwick Road Safety Routes to School, a $5.9 million project for 2 safe routes to school projects spanning from Atlantic Avenue to Lake Ida Road, which are now under construction. I was able to help advocate for additional MPO funding to reduce the cost burden on Delray taxpayers, which is an ongoing effort, but I'm optimistic that my successor will continue to advocate for additional funds there. Railroad safety reviews, the last one I have here. Following last year's accident involving a Delray fire rescue truck and a Brightline train, I worked with city staff, with the MPO, and our Federal Railroad Administration to review rail crossing safety. The MPO is now evaluating funding for quad gate installations at several intersections that don't have them, which could help prevent future incidents like that. Again, I'm very optimistic we will get that funding as long as the next person up here continues to move that ball down the field. At my final MPO meeting last week, I also met with FDOT Secretary Stephen Braun to discuss safety improvements to our former Pride intersection, since FDOT removed the street art that had correlated with roughly 8 times fewer crashes over the years. I asked, how can we collaborate to maintain those safety gains at that intersection? And I've since followed up with FDOT MPO liaison Tony Norat, and I copied you on that, city manager, and as you as well, Lynn. And I'm hopeful that conversation will continue as well. And again, it was a very collaborative dialogue. So I'll wrap up by saying serving on the TPA, now the MPO, has been one of the most rewarding parts of my time on this commission. The partnerships we've built between the city, the county, the MPO, and FDOT are delivering real safety and mobility improvements to Delray Beach residents. And I thank you up here for the trust you placed in me to represent our city in this important role. That's all I got. Gavel away.
Thank you all for attending. We are adjourned.